This is a Lego minifigure from 1974, and this is what a minifigure looks like today.
Wow.
In this video, I'm going to be comparing old Lego minifigures from several decades ago to their new counterparts today. And lastly, we're going to do some quick speed building to see what custom Lego environments we can make for them. Let's go. Okay, so out of the countless Lego themes, the one with probably the richest history is Star Wars. Wow, he seems really mad. And a week ago, I teased these minifigures on my Instagram, and a lot of you people got mad saying that the lightsaber hilt was on wrong, so I punished myself with a big slap. Here's a pirate captain from 1989, and over 30 years later, LEGO released this Pirates of Barracuda base set, which featured a total remake of him. If you look closely, the coloring on the peg leg is slightly different because in 2004, LEGO changed the color of brown to a more lighter shade. Here's the first ever Yoda minifig made in 2002. And here's what he looks like now. You can see LEGO changed his skin color from sand green to olive green, which I don't think even came out until 2010. He's also got eyes that stare into your soul. Here's what a Harry Potter minifig looks like from 2001. And here's what Harry looks like today. It wasn't until 2004 that LEGO started making skin tone minifigs, which is why the older one comes in yellow. They also gave the newer one an updated wand versus the old one, which was just a bar piece. Here's the first Darth Vader minifig made in 1999. And here's what Darth Vader looks like today. The helmets look a lot different because the newer ones come in two pieces, which is also more movie accurate, and the head pieces underneath are way different as well. Here's a wizard minifig from 1995 that looks a lot like the wizard from Shrek 3. You see what I mean? But in 2014, Minifig Series 12 came out featuring a remake of this dude. He's got a new hat, he's got a new cloak, new beard, and he's got a slow piece as his legs to make it look like he's wearing robes. And going back to Harry Potter, here's what Ron Weasley looked like as a minifigure in 2001. He's got a dorky face and a terrible bowl cut that will diminish any chances of him getting women. I do like his cape though, which has some stars on it. The Ron Weasley minifig today looks a lot different. He's got an updated hairstyle and a new color, and he's got a double-sided face so he can change his expressions. Here's an original 2001 Han Solo minifig, and here's what he looks like today. LEGO gave him a parted hairstyle and dark blue pants, which are a little more realistic. He's also got more detailed printing on his torso and a double-sided head. We also can't forget about his homie Chewie. So here's him in minifig form from the year 2000. The newer version of him comes in dark brown, and he's also got slightly better printing. LEGO did, however, carry the old original headpiece, which also covers the torso. In the early 2000s, LEGO released these spy theme sets, which featured the Secret Agent minifig. Well, in 2016, a new minifig series came out and included a remake of him. He's got a new hairpiece, which also can fit a set of goggles, but they did give him the same headset mouthpiece, belt pack, and globe logo on his head and torso. The first Stormtrooper minifig came out in 2001, and you can see it doesn't have a printed headpiece. Well, the newer ones do have printed headpieces, and if you look even closer, they have really precise printing versus the older ones, which have some blemishing. And to go with our other two Harry Potter minifigs, here's what Hermione looks like from 2001. In the new Hermione minifig, though, they gave her a new hairpiece, a more realistic double-sided face print, and they also removed the house emblem on her torso. And here's Luke Skywalker from 1999, one of the first Star Wars minifigs ever made. I feel like this minifig was way ahead of its time because they even gave him printing on his legs, which wasn't very common at the time. The new Luke Skywalker still looks similar, he just got a new hair mold, and he also comes in skin tone. In 1998, LEGO released the Johnny Thunder minifig, which is kind of like a knockoff Indiana Jones. But in 2019, LEGO released Minifig Series 19, and this came with it. It's a new recreated version of Johnny Thunder, and he's got a special backpack as well as a new face. The sad thing though is that they didn't reuse the iconic hat piece with the folded edge on the new one. And you can't forget the most OG of minifigs is this one right here. It doesn't even have movable arms or legs or a face. LEGO started using them in sets way back in 1974 until 1978 they completely redesigned it to look like how it does today. I definitely like this one more. Okay, now it's time for some quick LEGO creation speed builds. I want to give a few of these minifigures an environment to be around, so how about we start with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. I want to recreate the famous ending scene from Revenge of the Sith where Anakin fights Obi-Wan over a river of lava. So to make the lava, I'm going to use some transparent orange flame pieces pieces, and for some rocky landscaping, I'm gonna use a combination of slope pieces, plates, tiles, and these bricks with studs so I can build sideways. For even more coolness, I'm gonna give both minifigs their very own light up saber, which you can buy right now from Light My Bricks. They sell a ton of other cool lighting accessories specifically for LEGO creation, so link in the description. I'm gonna also put some light under the lava so it lights up and looks really super realistic. And after 2 hours of building, we had a completed product. But with such an epic build like this, we should probably make a commercial.
Deploy the Jedis, kill the younglings, and take the high ground.
Now let's make something for Johnny Thunder, aka LEGO's version of Indiana Jones. There's a ton of cool adventure-themed sets built around this minifig, so I want to do something similar. So let's make a pyramid. I'm gonna start by taking a bunch of tan bricks and making the exterior. Now we can start making the interior by throwing in some skeletons, booby traps, treasure, and yo mama. I totally phase rug that joke. So instead, let's just throw in a mummy. For a more realistic touch, let's add some sand around the pyramid. No, like actual sand. This is probably gonna be really hard to clean up, but it looks cool. And here we go, people. Now we have an epic pyramid that Johnny Thunder can explore, get a ton of treasure from, so we can become super rich. How about we make something with these Harry Potter minifigs? I quickly went to Instagram and asked what I should make because I had no clue what to build, and you guys had some good suggestions. Well, I mean, most of you guys. A few people said to make a potion room, so let's just do that. Okay, so I started with the 12 by 16 stud space as my foundation and started working on the flooring and some small decorations like these candles. I made small potion shelves using transparent cylinders as the actual potion bottles. Then I made one table in the middle for the brewing workstation. And here's a completed potion room for Harry, Ron, and Hermione so they can brew anything from polyjuice, fire resistance, water breathing. Oh wait, I'm thinking of Minecraft now. Steve just entered the chat, boys. Since stormtroopers have trash aim in the movies, we're gonna recreate that in LEGO. Let's place down Luke Skywalker, then spread out a bunch of transparent red studs around him to show all the spots where the stormtroopers shot. Even aimbot can't hear that. Okay, so Brand's in town today. What's up, bro? Yo, wait, bro, what are you doing?
Chill out. My bad.
So, in front of you are a bunch of random minifigs. Which ones do you like?
Easily, we're gonna have to go with the pirate.
Okay, so my challenge for you now, I want you to make a mock for it. You think you can tackle this?
Easily.
What did you build here?
I started off with something pretty big, as you can see with all these. Then I realized, you know what? Simple is better. This is what I like to call the lactose intolerant pirate.
Like what pieces exactly make him look lactose intolerant?
So here's the pirate minifigure.
Yeah. Fire.
Yep.
Great job, Brandon.
Don't forget to check me out on my Instagram and YouTube at DJ Fashion Kill.
So to secure these minifigures, I had to do countless research on Bricklink, which is an online LEGO store, read several forums, and even refer to some of my LEGO books. Some of these minifigures were cheap, others were a lot harder to find and pretty damaging to my bank account. So in total, I spent close to $400 and I had to order from 4 different businesses. So please support your boy, give this video a like. I'm not getting any of Daddy's money, and I'm not a rich adult LEGO collector. Despite this one expensive order though, the seller was kind enough to throw in some candy. Looks like someone's getting a good review. Comment below what you like more, newer minifigures or the old school ones. Honestly, there's something about these old school minifigs that just got a certain charm to them. I can't really explain how much I love these. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Stay spicy, my bros. In this video, I spent over $1,000 on old LEGO from the 1980s, and with all this LEGO, I'm gonna challenge myself to combine it together to make my very own LEGO city. So anyway, let the challenge begin. Okay, so LEGO's a giant company that's been around for a thick minute, so clearly it has a very rich history. So out of curiosity, I spent several hours last week searching the internet for old forgotten LEGO, then grabbed my mom's credit card and spent $1,195.36 on it. And today's the day that everything comes in the mail. So it's time for a very satisfying unboxing experience. I'm doing this so you guys don't have to, and if you want to know what a little over $1,000 looks like in LEGO, then now you know. Okay, so everything's disassembled and bagged up, but throughout the video, I'm going to be building these things one by one, then adding them to this empty plot of land to form a LEGO town at the end of the video. Let's start with the most basic and simple thing I bought, which is a bunch of old LEGO minifigures that came out between 1982 and 1992. They have one thing in common, and it's that they're smiling. Like, constant smiling. Can you guys maybe not smile at me so much? Why are you guys looking at me? Old minifigures from this time also had a totally different head design. The new ones have a hole on the top, that way if a little 4-year-old sticks this up their nose, they can still breathe. Some of these minifigures have different skills and professions. This guy is rocking some very expensive shades, very dripped up. up. That person's hair looks like flaming hot Cheetos. And this guy has a very exquisite mustache. These are the very first minifigures to live in this town, and since I'm building this town for them, they see me as their ultimate leader, and they will do anything I tell them to do. Hey you, build me a house right now. That's right, it's about time we add the first few houses to go in this Lego town for our citizens to live in. These construction workers are so diligent that they've already dug out some of the ground, built a bucket loader, gathered materials, and are now getting to work on the first house. This one is a Lego set from 1989, comes with a large outdoor space to eat, and the owners moving in even have a luxurious camper van with a fancy interior and a boat. These construction workers are a walking W. No, like actually, they're a walking W. Bruh. But I don't think one house is enough, so on the other side of town, I'm gonna add one more house. I don't want them to know my next move, so I'm gonna build it with a glizzy. This house is located in a forest on a beautiful river next to a giant cliff with a suspension bridge going to it. And the owners really seem to love the outdoors because they own a Range Rover sports truck with a little boat to go fishing. And they also own a horse that loves drinking water from the river. And in the case that a Lego man falls into the river on accident, I bought a 1985 Lego rescue helicopter set. Cue the Lego City commercial.
Build the helicopter! And off to the rescue!
Now we can deploy the chopper, rescue this random guy that fell in, and bring him to safety. So while I was building that one house with the hot dog, it made the citizens of this town really hungry. So now it's time to supply this town with some food.
Hey!
I bought a Lego pizza restaurant set, so we're gonna add this to the very center of the town. Wow, this pizza do be looking real bussin', and the owner of this restaurant really looks like he loves his job, and I'm gonna name him Chef Linguini. This set even comes with a delivery car and a minimum wage high school worker. That way the people of this town can hit up Chef Linguini on the phone and order hot and fresh pizza delivered straight to their door. And next to the pizza restaurant, I'm gonna add this 23-piece Lego set, which is a lady selling ice cream. A great dessert choice after eating some delicious pizza. This is definitely one of the smallest Lego sets I've ever built, and that doesn't look anything like ice cream, but keep in mind, this was a Lego set from 1997. And just like that, the people of this town are flooding in, forming a giant line to try some of this amazing food that this town now offers. And Chef Linguini is racking in thousands of dollars. These people are even filming a mukbang video. But as the creator of this town, I didn't really think about the nutritional levels of these meals, so now it looks like despite the bussin' pizza and ice cream, the citizens of this town are experiencing severe digestive problems and heart failure. Oh no, what have I done? Now they're all laying in the street and being a traffic hazard. We need to build them something right now to take care of their medical issues, or else they're all going to die in the street. So this next Lego set is from 1987, and it's a hospital that comes with a large headquarter building, several medical field workers, and an ambulance. So we can now send out the ambulance to get people off the street and take them to get the proper medical treatment they need. And one by one, our citizens are getting back up on their feet as good as new. And just like that, the people of this town have been saved. Oh, we did lose one guy though, but that's okay. And for making such disgraceful food that violates health code, we're going to send Chef Linguini and the ice cream lady to jail. But wait, in the middle of making this video, I realized I actually had to move, so I'm gonna go do that real quick, and that also explains why this video took 3 freaking weeks to make. Sorry about that, y'all. Anyway, as I was saying, we need to arrest Chef Linguini and the ice cream lady for taking advantage of people's health for the sake of making tons of ching-ching. So next to the hospital, there's some extra space to add this next Lego set I bought, which is a giant police station. It comes with a lot of play features, including a cop car, helicopter, 2 motorcycles, and a prison, which will definitely come in clutch shortly when we arrest our suspects. And just when you thought this was enough, you thought wrong, because I also bought this Lego surveillance truck set, which comes with a computer room inside for the police to do undercover work. And I also bought this tiny pursuit truck. Probably not gonna make much of a difference, but it's something. I just realized this, but the police station looks exactly like the hospital. And I think our police force now looks complete. So it's time to deploy the ops, pull up to Chef Linguini and the ice cream lady, arrest them, and send them to jail. And instead of a pizza restaurant, it's time to welcome Gordon Ramsay, because he's moving into this town to open his own restaurant, which offers far more gourmet and nutritional meals.
With Chef Linguini and the ice cream lady in jail, the town was finally at peace. But aside from Gordon's bussin' food, this town still needs something special and unique to keep the people happy. How about I add a beach over here for them to relax and have fun? And yes, I am Morgan Freeman. And since Tyler is currently playing Minecraft with the boys, I'm doing this part of the video meal for him.
Yes, I told you to feed the villagers bread. Okay, I gotta go, bye. Oh, wow, what's this? Okay, I don't know who added this here, but I think it would be very cool to put a beach in this city. So the first attraction I'm gonna add is a 30-year-old Lego set, which is a surf shack. You can rent surfboards, or you can go up to this guy with the mustache and order drinks. It also comes with this guy on a sailboard who's doing tricks in the water. Now, there's tons of space out in the water for people to take their motor vehicles, so let's add some boats. This first one is a $45 yacht I bought. This next set is a dock with a guy on it, and he's fishing for a shark. I also bought this boat with a fan on the back, kind of like those boats you see in the swamps. And I also found these interesting pieces that go in between the studs on a brick, and I don't think Lego makes these anymore. I also bought a $5 set of a guy in a kayak, and another tiny set I bought is this jet ski, which can fit a single minifig. Now, those are all the water vehicles I got. So moving to the sand, I'm gonna add this off-road SUV I paid $20 for, and this camper van that's carrying a surfboard on top. And yep, I bought a second one on accident. This is honestly really trippy to look at. This kind of feels like a duplication glitch. And finally, here's a couple of $5 dune buggies that we can add. Now, this beach looks perfect. There's so much to do, and the people of this town will love me for it. But even with that, this town still feels a little empty, and I want to fill this entire street with different kinds of vehicles, and thankfully, I bought a bunch of them. So here's a quick speed round of Lego cars that I bought. This first car I bought is a TV van that comes with a satellite dish on top, as well as a camera guy and his own personal camera. And this is perfect because he can pull up and film Gordon Ramsay's next cooking show. And same goes to this next Lego set I bought, which is a Lego camera truck. It's got a giant adjustable arm on it with a guy on top holding a camera. Oh yeah, there you go. Come on, get all those angles. What if someone has a shopping spree on Amazon? Well, here's a delivery van with a delivery guy that can travel in and out of town bringing packages to people's doors. This next Lego set is a 1985 family car. Not sure why it's meant for families though, when it can only fit a single dude. And this next set is a monster truck from 1988. This thing is pretty massive because it has 8 wheels, and I like how the truck looks super tough and hard, but then there's the driver whose shirt looks like something a 5-year-old would wear to kindergarten. And the final vehicles I bought for this speed round are these 2 race cars. These are like the ones that you find on the drag strip. So now these 2 people can have fun and go race. Oh, wait, that probably wasn't a good idea because now they crashed into this person's house and it's burning. This is not good because the only thing that should be fire right now is this video. So in this corner of the city, I'm gonna build a fire station. And yes, I got hungry, so I was eating Mr. Beast chocolate while building this. But anyway, this fire station comes with 2 garages, one to store a fire truck with a ton of features like a ladder and a long hose. On the top is a helipad for a helicopter, and there's also a large surveillance tower up top. So it's time to deploy the troops and send them out to extinguish the fire off of this house before it's lost forever. Wow, that was a very close call, but we successfully did that. At this point, this city has had so many problems that we've had to build a hospital, police station, and fire station. Now, since there's so many cars in this town, we need to provide a service for them. So in this final empty space of town, I'm gonna add a gas station. It comes with 4 gas pumps, a tow truck, and even a convenience store where people can buy snacks and drinks. Uh-oh, it looks like a dog chewed on this piece. I hope you don't do that. And this gas station is specifically based off of a Shell gas station, like the global gas company. And at this point, we're pretty much out of space to add anything, so it's time for a final round of small touch-ups to this town. I'm gonna add lots of trees, a few benches, light poles, and all of these Lego pieces are from the 80s. That way it matches the style of this town. And just like that, with a little over $1,000 in old Lego, we completely transform this empty space of land into a thriving city with tons of life. But there's a myth that when you leave your toys alone in a room, they start moving like they do in Toy Story. So I'm gonna bounce, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. In this video, I'm going to be working my way around the world, taking iconic places from various continents and countries and rebuilding them in Lego. This is going to be a real challenge, but let's get it. Okay, so there's 7 continents and 195 countries around the world, so we got no time to waste. Let's start where I live, the United States of America. I have some Native American and cowboy minifigures, so how about we make something from the Wild West? Best example I can think of is the Grand Canyon, a giant rock formation that spans thousands of miles and has a river flowing through it. So to build this in Lego, I'll take a bunch of colors and layer them so it looks like an eroded cliff. On one side of the canyon, I'll add my Indians, and on the other side, I'll add my cowboys. And finally, we can use some transparent studs studs to form a river going through the middle. And just like that, our first iconic landmark is complete. Just above me is Canada, the country known for hockey, maple syrup, super nice people, and this hotel I found on the internet that's legit made of ice. Like, how the heck are you supposed to sleep in here? I have some transparent pieces, which I think will be perfect, so we can build some flooring, add a few walls, and then start throwing in some luxurious furniture to make one of the most oddly satisfying hotel rooms I've ever laid eyes on. And just below me is Mexico, known for its rich culture, delicious food, and Chichen Itza, which is an ancient ruin built by the Mayan people. Just like any pyramid, I'll start with a wide base and make it narrow towards the top. I also added staircases on each side with some grill pieces, and we can also add some miniature people using studs. And just like that, we have a micro-scale version of Chichen Itza. What about the Caribbean islands? It's a hotspot for warm weather, lush nature, and great sea life. I'll make a tropical beach using some blue pieces for water, tan pieces for sand, and green pieces for some grass. I designed my own palm tree using a two-piece in the middle so it can bend like how palm trees do in real life. I also made a small hut, and for the roof, I used these pointy teeth pieces for hay. And lastly, I'll add some island people. Very Ooga Booga vibes. Okay, now it's time to journey our way down from North America to the continent of South America. In the giant country of Brazil is the city of Rio de Janeiro, and overlooking the city is Jesus. This is Christ the Redeemer, a large monument built on a hill. So to make it as a minifig, I'll use entirely gray pieces so it looks like stone. I used a minifigure head and hairpiece, but his robe is really complicated, so I had to custom build that using some scrap parts. But what happens when I give him a bottle of water? Oh, wow. Just west of Brazil is the country of Peru, home to Machu Picchu, a gorgeous ancient city built in the mountains. I will go ahead and start with some landscaping, then add some miniature buildings using tiny tan pieces, and for the mountain right next to the city, I'll use a handful of slopes. We can also add more miniature people. And just like that, our city is completed. Literally in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 2,000 miles off the coast of Chile is Easter Island, a tiny island that has close to 1,000 of these stone monuments that look like if someone's head got stretched. To build one of these statues in Lego, I'm gonna use a ton of differently shaped parts, and after some building, I think I've achieved the right look for a face. So we've explored North and South America, but let's journey our way across the Atlantic Ocean to Europe, specifically the country of England. On the southern side of the island is the ancient rock formation known as Stonehenge, pretty much a bunch of giant rocks that look like dominoes. So I'm gonna start with some landscaping that uses a sideways building technique. Then to make the rocks, I'm again going to use a sideways building technique. Finally, we can add some tourists staring at the rocks and taking pictures with their phone. I never thought that being next to a bunch of rocks could be such a flex, but it is. Next up on my list is Sweden. And what is Sweden famous for? Yep, IKEA, the giant furniture store. I'm gonna use some blue and yellow parts, which are the company colors. It took forever, but I also made an IKEA sign and also a Swedish flag. We can slap those on and turn the building around, because for the inside we can include a showroom with some displayed furniture, a cafeteria where someone is eating Swedish meatballs, very bussin', and downstairs we can add a checkout station with some customers ready to buy furniture. IKEA did not pay me to do this, by the way. How about we make the Eiffel Tower, a 1,000-foot monument built in Paris, France over 100 years ago. It looks really complicated, but I'll start from the ground up using a ton of hinge pieces to achieve the right shaping of the tower, and after 2 hours of building, I think we have something that looks close enough to the real thing. And that actually finishes our 10th build. Germany is another country on our list, and something I love about Germany are the houses, so let's make one in Lego. For the first floor, I'll add a kitchen and dining room, then add some stone walls. For the second floor, we can add a bedroom, office, and then add more walls, a roof, then finish the outside with some flowers and a walkway. You guys are lucky because you got to see me make that in 10 seconds, but in reality, it took me probably 3 hours to make. How about we make something from the country of Greece, known for its philosophy, sus statues, the Olympics, and the Parthenon, a marble temple built over 2,000 years ago for the Greek goddess Athena. I'm gonna build a section of it, so let's use some cylinder bricks for the pillars, add a roof on top, and a few Greek dudes. I'm really tired right now, so let's move on. Next up is Spain, famous for its bullfighting, getting chased by bulls, and this giant Spanish fortress named the Alhambra. I started with tower number 1, which slopes upwards from the bottom, and at the top I added a Spanish guard. I then built tower number 2, but slightly differently, and added a second Spanish guard. And just like that, we have created a section of the Alhambra. You gotta roll the R's in Spain. Last European country on my list is Italy, where a lot of architecture, art, and my spaghetti comes from. How about we recreate Venice, a city built on small islands separated by canals. I'll go ahead and make the facade of a building. I also made a custom door, then I kept building, adding a balcony for the second floor. Right on top, I added a roof using some slopes, but right outside, I also added a bridge leading to another dock, and I stuck some plates underneath so minifigs can walk over it and not fall into the water. Then our Venice house was finished. Now let's let's move on to the continent of Africa. Starting with the country of Egypt, how about we build one of the Great Pyramids of Giza? So let's start with one layer of bricks, then continue building up, making each layer smaller and smaller until we have a complete pyramid. So far it looks pretty basic, so let's throw in some smaller parts to add detail. And lastly, let's add a few minifigures and a camel. Right off the eastern coast of Africa is Madagascar. No, not the movie, the country. The trees are super thick, and according to Google, they're called baobab trees. Instead of using 1x1 cylinder bricks or even 2x2 cylinder bricks, I'm gonna straight up use 4x4 cylinder bricks to make the trunk of the tree. And up top, we can add some branches, add some landscaping around the tree, and now I think King Julian will be very proud of me. Okay, so the most popular country for African wildlife is Kenya, located just between Madagascar and Egypt. So let's make a simple wildlife safari build with a few acacia trees, tons of animals like an elephant, couple of monkeys, ostrich, and we can also have a group of tourists with binoculars looking from a car. Right on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe is Victoria Falls, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. To make a small version of it, I used transparent studs in different shades of blue so the water looks like it's actually falling, added some cliffs on the sides, and also added some miniature people on the edge like what people do in real life at this waterfall. I'm getting anxiety just watching this, like please don't do that. Now, it is time to explore the continent of Asia. So let's start with the tiny western country of Jordan. Within this country is Petra, an ancient city with buildings legit built into the side of a cliff, kind of like what I do in Minecraft. But to make one in Lego, I'm gonna use a ton of round bricks for columns, then just keep making it look fancy by adding small details and these statues all in one color so it blends in and looks like stone. Let's also add some dirt in front and Indiana Jones, and our ancient building is completed. Within the United Arab Emirates is the city of Dubai, home to the tallest skyscraper in the world by the name of the Burj Khalifa. I'll make a micro version of it using transparent pieces layered with gray pieces and slowly take away chunks of it as I build up. And that's actually our 20th build down. How about we make something from the country of India? Its most iconic landmark is probably the Taj Mahal, an immense mausoleum built in the 1600s by order of Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his wife. And I'll design my own miniature version of it. I used a lot of arches, cylinder bricks, dome pieces, and even these candlesticks for miniature towers. Now let's journey our way to China, and something that fascinates me is the Great Wall of China that spans over 13,000 miles. I noticed that the wall isn't straight. It bends a lot and goes up and down, so I want my wall to be the same. To do that, I'll use angled plates to connect different segments together. To make the walls, I'll get a bunch of custom bricks together that use a lot of small parts for detail, and from there, it was just a ton of tedious work bringing up the walls, and I also added some points of elevation to make it look more interesting, and we can also add some Chinamen ready to defend the wall. Let's make something from Mother Russia. How about St. Basil's Cathedral from Moscow, the capital city? Laying down the first few pieces, I'm realizing how complicated this actually looks. All I know is that we need a load of colors. Now it's time to add all the balls. Looks good, but seriously, this was the most accurate version I could get, and the balls on top look like candy, so I kind of want to eat them. How about we travel to the country of Japan and build one of the traditional temples? I'll start with the first floor, making a deck and a single room. For the roof, I went ahead and used a hinge technique so that it bends at an angle and is very Japanese looking. I then went ahead adding more stories till it looked really tall and cool, ended it with a final roof, then threw in some ninjas because ninjas come from Japan. Now it's time to move to Australia, aka the land down under. I forgot, but because of that, we do need to rotate the screen, so there you go. An iconic landmark is probably the Sydney Opera House. I'm gonna use some tan pieces for the base, and these special roofing pieces for the little white things that stick out. I don't know what they're called. And just like that, our Sydney Opera House is complete. And finally, the last continent on our list, which is also a country, it's Antarctica. I'm going to be honest, but there's not really much to see here, just a lot of penguins. But penguins are pretty dope, so let's make 2 of them using some black and white pieces and some scuba diver flippers for their feet. After watching several travel documentaries and reading numerous Wikipedia pages to learn of these countries, I learned that the world is actually a pretty big and cool place. I know we got viewers all over the world, and I'm sorry if I didn't make your country, but hopefully I captured a lot of the highlights. Comment below what country you're from. Thank you for watching. For the next 24 hours, I'm going to be taking popular and iconic LEGO games and turning them into real life by building my own LEGO creations based off of them. So let the challenge begin. So since 1995, LEGO has been making games, and there's currently 85 of them out there right now. So here's the game plan. I'm going to take 3 of them that my fans choose, and for each one, I'm going to spend 4 hours playing it, then another 4 hours taking something that stood out to me from the game and then building it with real life LEGO. Our first game is LEGO City Undercover, and as the name suggests, you play as a police officer and have to roam a giant city fighting crime. Okay, so here's the character we're playing, Chase McCain. This feels relieving because I commit illegal building techniques all the time, and usually I'm the one stressing about having cops on me, but for once I am the la, baby. You listen to me now. Pretty much this game is the Lego kid-friendly version of Grand Theft Auto because there's a giant map to explore and you can also steal cars from people. Ooh, that's a sick-looking whip. It's pink. Give me your car right now. I need it. I am a cop though, and I shouldn't be breaking the law, so I'm gonna actually try to like do legal stuff. Wow. I kind of had a traumatic experience. I got my car blown up by a monorail. I saw people laying in the road. You need to move, sir. Get out of the road. Sir, get out of the road. Is this guy from Ohio or something? And I found very bad drivers. Dude. Got into my lane, man. For the safety of my city, I checked the river to make sure a man didn't fall in. Then for the fun of it, I jumped in. Oh crap, how do I get out now? Can someone please deploy the rescue helicopter? And after exploring the city a little longer, it was about time to fight some crime. Okay, I just got a call from the station and we have to chase this guy in a very sus van. I went ahead and blew up his car. Now he's running. Okay, now he just got hit by a car. Then he proceeded to run, so I chased him down and cuffed him. I have like a thermal camera and I just spotted another criminal. There were still 2 criminals left. The first one I caught running in the street, and the second I found hiding in a cargo ship. See me wearing this tie? That's because this is business. I don't play around. My work was completed, and I stumbled into a seagull eating a burger. You know, fighting crime comes at a cost. So to treat myself, I got a delicious sandwich. But since I'm a cop, I'm gonna give it to this homeless person. Here, you can have it. Eat it. At the end of the day, when I'm a cop, I care about my people. So after spending 4 hours on this game, it was time to take my real Lego and build something. First off, we need our main character. Hey, I need to use you. Whoa, that was really easy. Lego actually made a physical version of Chase McCain, and we're definitely gonna use him. Since Lego City is such a big place, I was pretty much driving the entire time to get around, so let's go ahead and build Chase McCain his very own police car. Fighting crime is essentially the theme of this game, so I then went ahead and made a gang of criminals. This guy looks like one of those hackers. And the criminals I arrested in this game had robbed a bank, so let's go ahead and build the sketchy van I had to blow up on my mission. I made it white because white vans are sketchy. Then throw in a bunch of money in the back. Looks good. I want to capture the look of Lego City, so I went ahead and built an elevated road using a sideways building technique, and we can then add our high-speed chase. On one side of the road, I'll build the river that I jumped into, but this time a man actually fell in. And since he fell in, we need a rescue helicopter to save him. On the other side of the river, I'll go ahead and add a few building facades to really make this look like Lego City. There's a few more touches we can add, like a lamppost, trash can, mailbox, fire hydrant, bench, a few trees, and a few citizens that are just casually walking around, while a bunch of criminals in a sketchy van are getting chased down the street by Chase McCain. Just a normal day in Lego City. And just like that, our first build was completed. Okay, so for this next game, we're still protecting people, but not as a cop. We're gonna be doing it as a superhero, because this next game is Lego Marvel Superheroes. I'm gonna be honest, but I think being a superhero is a little more interesting than being a cop. No offense, Chase McCain. I played as Iron Man, who could fly, Captain America, Mr. Fantastic. He could transform into anything, like a literal rocket ship. You can be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's honestly my favorite character. I mean, you can kind of tell. Oh. Forgot I can't do that. But my favorite character to play was probably Hulk. Hey you, move out of my way. Move. It's time to throw this man into the river. Can you maybe not watch me do this? Now, I'm a superhero, so I had to go fight some villains. I fought Dr. Octopus in this crowded square with a bunch of people watching, and I also fought this knockoff Hulk. There was also a giant city to explore with lots to do. I helped this guy move his car off the street. I met a friendly news reporter. Hey, can I get in the video with you? Hey, what's up, vlog? Welcome back to another video. I even met some fans. When you're a superhero, you're pretty famous. Okay, one step back, ladies, one step back. But I eventually stumbled into the Avengers Tower, the superhero headquarters. It was also fun to jump off of. Hey, where's a car at? Where's a car at? Right here. There's one right here. Oh, and I broke the roof of it. But I think this would make a fun yet challenging thing to make in Lego, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, the skyscraper's got a really interesting but kind of complicated design. Like one side is rounded and the other side is at an angle. So for the angled side, I'll use slopes, and for the curved side, I'll use these rounded windows. But that's only one level, so to make this actually look like a skyscraper, I'll continue building up until this point where I went ahead and added a large angled window. And this skyscraper also has a landing pad for air vehicles, so I went ahead and built one to go up top. top. Now, the original text on this building says Stark, but a year later, Marvel changed it to the Avengers logo. And since I think it looks a little cooler in Lego, I'll go ahead and add that on both sides. To finish this skyscraper, we can add a pointy roof. And our final touch is adding our characters. So I went ahead and spent $100 on the characters I pretty much played in this game, like Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and of course, my boy Spider-Man. So we can go ahead and add those to our build. How's it hanging? And just like that, our Avengers Tower is completed. Okay, so we protected a city as a cop, we protected a planet as a superhero, but for this final game, we're gonna be protecting the galaxy, because next up is Lego Star Wars. And there's one goal. I'm gonna try to unlock every character. I started with the Phantom Menace by becoming a professional pod racer, then fighting Darth Maul. I like how he's pushed me into a corner, and my Padawan is literally just standing there doing nothing about it. You can also enter cheat codes in this game, so I went onto Google, and they've literally listed all of them. I then went ahead and typed them all in. This first cheat multiplied my money by 3,840 times. Oh yeah, give me all the money, baby. See, we're already at $1 million. I'm also invincible, so it's impossible for this guy to kill me. How does that feel, huh? Oh, look, he's scared of me now. Yeah, that's right, you keep running. I continued playing the prequels. I fought Count Dooku, General Grievous, and my own Padawan who turned to the dark side. I also collected as many mini kits as possible. Aside from unlocking characters in story mode, you could also buy characters in the main lobby. And by how rich I was at this point, this was no problem for me. It was then time to play the original trilogy. I blew up the Death Star, learned to be a Jedi from Yoda, met some dudes in a hot tub, and teamed up with my father to defeat this old wrinkly man and save the galaxy. And after playing all 36 levels and unlocking characters along the way, the moment finally came. Oh my gosh. I never realized a game that fun could be so mentally draining, because that was close to 6 hours of non-stop gameplay. But I don't care, we got content. And to celebrate, I want to make this screen in Lego. So to make the background, I'll build a wall of black bricks, and for the stars, I'll use some white studs. Now I left random holes in this so that we can fit our minifigs. So speaking of that, I spent a couple $100s on really old ones like from the game. So we can go ahead and start adding those in. And I noticed that each character in the game has like a blue ring around it, so to replicate that, I'll add in a bunch of these round plates. So from now on, when I want to think of all the characters I unlocked in this game, I can just look at this Lego version that I made. This is so trippy, because I have characters on my screen now, also in Lego, and then I also have characters on my desk. Bruh. I'll put a link where I bought this, by the way. I also want to recreate me being rich in the game, so here's a bunch of Lego studs that look like currency. The silver ones are worth 10 points, gold 100, the blue ones are 1,000, and the purple ones are worth 10,000. This made me feel so rich as a kid. It feels really massaging, too. I also collected a lot of mini kits in this game, so here's one I built in Lego. And when you punch people, they break into pieces and leave hearts that you can use to regenerate your health. So if you take 2 of these Technic plates and connect them like this, then you have a real version of a heart. This video was a lot of fun to make, and you guys gave me an excuse to play video games, so thanks for watching, see you in the next one. I just realized we never tested this building to see what happens when Hulk gets angry. In this video, I'm going to be taking a nostalgic trip down memory lane and doing dumb and weird things to Lego that people do as kids, including myself. So anyway, let the video begin. Now, I'm 20 years old, but I'm also a Lego YouTuber, so I have a valid excuse to do all these things I'm about to do. And if you're a kid, you might want to take notes, because after watching this video, you're going to want to do a lot of this stuff. Let's start with the basics. Number 1, sticking Lego up your nose. That's really weird. Nothing about that really felt special. I kind of just feel like an idiot now. Number 2, building a really whack Lego house that uses almost every Lego color possible. Now, this is hard to look at, but since I'm a responsible adult, I'm going to make a Lego house that's acceptable to my level of building. I made this wall so it can open, so let's add some stuff inside like a table, bed, and a kitchen. And just like that, we have a simple house that a minifig can live in. Number 3, kids will also build a car and then attach a bunch of random stuff to it, like guns. Pretty much the more guns, the better. If I'm having a Lego war with a friend, I'm easily winning with this. It's time to surrender. I feel like Sid from Toy Story right now. As a kid, I used to always go outside with my Lego cars and then play with them in the dirt. Or if you were really smart, you'd take a Lego base plate, use it as a ramp, and launch cars off of it. Surprisingly, did not break. Pretty much they'll drive cars over anything. Or if they have a sink, they'll fill it with water, then act like it's a pool. This guy's running from the cops because he did an illegal building technique. You can also make a pool out of Lego and then fill it with actual water. Honestly, don't do that because it will leak. Kids will also rip off minifig arms, then swap them around so it looks broken. And you can also do a stop motion where this guy's arms look like noodles. Kids also love chewing on Lego. I never tried this, but apparently chewing on tires feels really good. This is really weird, but I'm doing this for content, y'all. Honestly, it's kind of satisfying. I can see why kids do that. It does taste a little weird, though. Okay, now it's time for a quick round of ideas. So I went onto Instagram to hear what dumb and weird things you guys did with Lego as kids. Okay, I'm guilty of this, but drawing on Lego is one of them. Here's a bunch of random Lego heads that I drew on when I was like 7, and honestly, I'm surprised that I still have these. I think this guy's supposed to look like he got beat up. Maybe I was a pretty violent kid, I don't know. Another thing is losing Lego somewhere where you won't see it again for another 3 years. Think about how that will make your minifigs feel. Minifigs have feelings too. They also boil Lego. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, so I'm gonna take it out now. I'm gonna see if it's actually squishy. Honestly, I thought it was gonna melt, but it just cracked instead. Okay, this brings back so many memories. If you take a minifig, put it in a glass of water, stick it in the freezer, then come back in a few hours. Here we go. Let's see it. Oh, crap. I didn't know it was gonna be wet. Bruh. Then you have a minifig that's stuck in an iceberg. If you take hair pieces and put them on your fingers, they look like little puppets. Also, burning Lego. Don't do this, by the way. I don't want any angry parents. It's actually burning and I'm not even lighting it. I think my fire alarm might go off. Well, that's what a burnt minifig looks like, I guess. Kids will also make the weirdest Lego minifigures possible. For this one, I used a dude's head on a woman's body. This guy's really short. Here's a skeleton with a normal minifig head. It looks like someone who starved to death. This is Dory, and I used this person in my old videos. This guy's really tall and can definitely dunk. And here's a guy with a neck so long that it wraps around his body. He should become the next Marvel villain. You definitely wouldn't want this guy looking over the bathroom stall, though. Sometimes kids will have a really rare minifig without realizing it, and they don't take very good care of it. This is a $100 Star Wars minifig. This Gonk droid costed $75. This Robin costed $90. And this Coca-Cola minifig costed $120. One thing I did as a kid was take a Lego car and put it on a treadmill. Or if you take a bunch of minifig heads and move them around in your hand, it feels really stress relieving and massaging. Or if you take your hand and put it in a bin full of studs, that also feels really massaging. Who needs therapy when you can do this? Kids will also combine other toys they have with Lego, like Play-Doh. If you take it and press a minifig against it, it leaves a mark. Okay, this brick's unusable now. You can also use it to position minifigs in cool ways. Like, this guy's straight up Michael Jackson. Sometimes kids will do very violent things to minifigs, like stab them. Or they'll use transparent red pieces for blood. Or brown pieces for poop. Kids also take minifig heads and stack them on top of each other. Or they'll just stack random minifigs in general. If you take brick separators and tape them to your fingers, they look like giant claws. I feel like I'm Wolverine right now. If you push your hand against a Lego base plate for long enough, it leaves a cool mark on your hand, kind of like a tattoo, but really painful one. Kids also like simulating floods with Lego. So I made this house from last video and I'm gonna flood it. Begin the flood. Dang, this is gonna take a long time to clean up now. If you go to a store that sells Lego, you can usually find these Ninjago spinners, and everyone says they're really satisfying to spin, so let's try that. You pull this, and it apparently spins. Yep, honestly that is pretty satisfying. You can also find these wind-up motorcycles, and apparently they're also pretty satisfying. Not sure why this motorcycle is a bathtub, but let's give it a shot. Oh, he's doing a wheelie! Yo! Honestly, thumbs up for that. That's actually kind of dope. And we can't forget how terrible kids are at putting stickers on Lego. I'm never gonna buy dollar store stickers again either. They also like taking cannons and shooting minifigs in the face with round bricks. Or you can do the same thing with stud shooters. And if you take a base plate, you can wiggle it and it makes a really satisfying sound. I'm surprised that didn't break. It's kind of satisfying when you have a tiny bit of sweat on your fingers, then you get Lego bricks to stick on them. When you're a kid, you feel like you have some kind of superpower doing this. I don't know. When you take a kid grocery shopping with you, they always want to buy Lego. Hey Dad, can I get this like Lego Minecraft set?
What? No,
Dad,
way
Josh
too expensive.
It's my birthday though, Dad.
No.
Dad. Yeah, this is the Lego section. Wait, can I have this?
No. Tyler, put it back. No, put it. Tyler! No.
It's my birthday though.
Your birthday was 9 months ago, Tyler.
And then when you go to check out, they sometimes sneak a set onto the conveyor belt.
What? What is this? What is this? Tyler.
What?
Put it back. Put this back, Tyler.
No,
We're not buying
I
this.
want it though.
We're not buying it.
No, please.
No, we can't. We can't. I'm sorry.
Some kids like to take their Lego and recreate imaginary battles, so for this final round, I'm gonna make every 7-year-old jealous because I'm about to build my own giant battle of Lego. We need a lot of minifigs, so I immediately went to my bins and started building an army. Okay, so for Team 1, we have the Avengers, a Minecraft villager, Fortnite skins, angry anime people, and Kanye West. And for Team 2, we have Star Wars Jedi, Patrick Star, Glizzy Man, and Batman's biggest ops. Now we need to make a giant battlefield for them to fight on. So this green base plate will be for Team 1, and this green base plate will be for Team 2. I'll start with Team 1 by constructing a large fortification with some walls, and I'll add some cannons on top and the Dodge Challenger we made earlier. On the other side, I'll add a pool full of alligators so nobody can get past this point, and if anybody does, I'll add a bunch of sharp objects so then people won't be able to get past these. But kids have a crazy imagination, so if you still get past the spikes, then here's a wizard who can strike lightning down on you. So now, it's time for our minifigs to battle it out. Here's a side-by-side comparison of what it looks like through the eyes of a 7-year-old versus what it actually looks like in real life. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Honestly, this brought back a lot of memories, and this whole video was actually a cover-up so I could act like a 5-year-old. So thank you, YouTube, for giving me an excuse. See ya. For the next 24 hours, I'm gonna challenge myself to make super tiny things in Lego, starting with over 50 simple ideas to a full-on city. So anyway, let the challenge begin. Okay, now I know Lego alone is really small, but we're gonna have to make it even smaller. So something like the ship in a bottle set won't work, Chief, but something like this Lego bottle with a tiny ship printed on it, now that's crack-a-lackin'. Because of that, we're gonna need super small pieces because they contain a lot of detail in a small amount of space. So it looks like we won't be needing these big and chunky pieces. Because of that, I went digging through my bins to find random tiny pieces and then try to find ways to use them. What can we do with a brush? Well, it has a lot of texture on it, and if you lay it upwards, it kind of looks like a tree that you'd find in the fall. What about a book? It can open at different angles, so it kind of looks like a tent if you place it down. Okay, now it's time to really challenge myself. What can I do with the banana? Well, aside from feeding it to my minifigs, after like an hour of thinking, I realized it kind of looks like a water slide, I guess. What about one of these transparent domes? It reminds me of one of those like force fields that go around those cities on like a different planet where aliens live. This is what living on Mars will be like. These are candlestick pieces, and they kind of look like columns on a building, but if you take these railing pieces, they also kind of look like columns on a building. Oh, what's up, Yoda? Also, if you take one of these lifeguard floaties, lay it down, and then put 2 studs inside of it, it looks like a little boat full of people. And for my favorite build, call me a genius for this one, I used hot dogs to make a roller coaster. Lego, hire me right now. Okay, now it's time to think fast. I set my timer for 5 hours and challenged myself to see what I could make. Okay, so first off, I wanted to see how I could make a single tree in Lego. Well, your boy kind of overdid it a little bit and made 26 of them. This kind of looks like the Amazon rainforest. This tree is the tiniest and is literally just a stud. This next tree uses a green cone piece. This one has a blade. Here's a tree that uses 1 bar and 2 leaves. These 2 both use flower stems. And for this one, I took 3 stems and placed them upside down. This one uses round plates. These 3 all use a sideways building technique. More studded trees. These ones have plates and bricks at angles. Here's a dead tree that uses 2 minifigure hands and a carrot stem. And this one's supposed to look like a Japanese blossom tree, and I just used a pink ice cream piece for it. This tree got absolutely destroyed. Here's a slightly different palm tree and another palm tree. Another tiny tree. Acacia tree, just like this one. Then if you grab a chicken, make it lay an egg, then it looks like a tree covered in snow. My ears hurt now from all those dings, and I think I'm definitely good looking at trees now. Ow, 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 okay, please stop. Okay, so our next category is transportation, so I went to Google and searched up every vehicle possible and just made a bunch of them. Starting with this tractor. This thing only took 12 pieces to make. To my surprise, a baby stroller is considered a vehicle. Huh? Not sure how, but I made one in Lego anyway. Your boy's about to get so many speeding tickets. I'm a 20-year-old man doing this, by the way. Here's a skateboard. It literally is just a jumper plate and a unicycle. It can't really stand up. Here's my attempt to make a motorcycle. I really tried on this. I realized if you take one of these triangular tiles, it kind of looks like a hang glider. And here's a tiny car. Or you can make a smaller version that only uses 2 pieces. Or you can make one using a single roller skate. Similar to that car, I made a tank and I used a minifig hand for the gun on top. Here's one of those modern trains that go through cities. I also made this excavator. Let's go see if it actually works. and it does get dirt. Okay, what about air vehicles? First, I made this biplane with a tiny propeller on the front. Here's my attempt to make a passenger plane like you see at the airports. I then took a balloon and then made a hot air balloon out of it. And another hot air vehicle I made is this blimp. And lastly, here's a helicopter I made. And finally, water vehicles. Here's a sporty jet boat I made. And here's a wooden ship, and you can see it's being eaten by one of those creepy octopuses that for some reason love eating ships. I also built this cargo ship, and for the cargo crates, I used a bunch of pieces in different colors. And here's my tiny version of the Titanic. Here's a log cabin, and for the chimney smoke, I used a hat plume. And here's another house. Wait. Guys, you were supposed to finish it like an hour ago. Why are you guys still building it? I'm gonna come back in 30 seconds and you better be done. Here's a tiny version of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And this is the Sphinx from Egypt. I didn't have the hat in the right color, sorry. I just realized if you put a lot of these builds next to minifigs, they look like Lego sets. Okay, now it was time to interact with my subscribers. So I went onto my YouTube, put a post up asking what you wanted to see me make small in Lego. And a lot of you guys wanted Star Wars stuff. So here's a small version of the Death Star. The only inaccurate thing about this is that it hasn't blown up. I also made a Republic gunship, which is a vehicle from the second movie, and then I also made a super small replica of the Millennium Falcon. And for all of my Marvel fans, here's a small replica of the Avengers Tower. Oh, look at Spider-Man. Here's one of the Great Pyramids of Giza, and here's a man who's fallen in a river in Lego City. But to save him, we need to deploy the rescue helicopter and save the day. Lego hired me for doing your commercials. Someone wanted me to make a soccer field, so here's one, or football, depending on where you are in the world. Someone wanted me to make a Minecraft build, so here's a small chunk that I made. Up top is a village with some tiny little villagers and my boy Steve. And beneath that is a cave full of lava, water, and within the rocks I added iron, lapis, emerald, redstone, and even diamonds. And for a more challenging build, someone wanted me to make a floating city, so I kind of had to use my imagination here, and I made a floating castle on a giant rock. I used a sideways building technique to make the rock, and I used a bunch of these tiny slopes up top for roofs. And to make it look like it's really in the air, I used some transparent pieces and put a cloud beneath it, which uses some of these Technic pieces to impersonate rain. Okay, how's the progress on the house looking? Oh, cool, it's done. All right. There you go, guys. That's the house I was talking about. Okay, I've made over 60 different things in Lego, and I kind of feel like a sensei at this point, so it's time to take my true wisdom and make something pretty ambitious like a city. I usually see a city as a place with a bunch of tall buildings, so let's just make a bunch of tall buildings. Wow, that was pretty easy, no sweat. Oh wait, I just realized something. We can't use Lego sets because that's considered cheating. I did find these special pieces though that look like windows on a skyscraper, so we can go ahead and use these. This one's supposed to be an apartment building. These three use a sideways building technique. This one looks like a triangle and I used hinges. These two use jumper plates, and it's cool because I placed each level at a different angle. Like this one spirals upwards. When you're building at this scale, the smallest details count, so I even used the tiny grooves on these plates to separate the levels on this building. This skyscraper is pretty futuristic looking. This one was inspired by the Burj Khalifa, which is the tallest skyscraper in the world. These two skyscrapers have a bridge connecting them, and this skyscraper has a swimming pool on top, and it also has one of those large advertisements like you see in Times Square, New York. And I made even more. Okay, if I make one more skyscraper, I'm gonna be mad like this guy. So now it's time to take what we have and actually put it all together in one big city. Okay, we got our roads done. I then went ahead and started laying out space for the buildings to go. Okay, so I left studs so the buildings can connect. Everything else is tiled so it looks clean. Now we can start adding our buildings. That looks pretty good. I didn't like the color of the road, so I changed it to black. Looks better. Also, the city's looking too much like a concrete jungle, so I added a park with some trees. That way people can also breathe as well. I had one empty space and I wanted to add a port. Let's see if this works. Whoa, that's sick, it worked. And then I added some of the water vehicles we made earlier. And all we had to do now was move in our citizens. And just like that, our city is complete and our citizens are happy. Oh, come on, man. Can we go 5 minutes without falling into a river? What did I learn from this challenge? Well, I used to think that building small was boring as heck, but even with just a few small pieces, you can still be creative and design beautiful things in Lego. Wow, that's so powerful. I'm about to cry. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Next video, I'm becoming a rich person in Lego, so wish me luck. This is a Lego base plate, and this is 15 Lego base plates.
Wow.
In the next 50 hours, I'm gonna challenge myself to transform this space into a complete Minecraft world. Will this be a success or a failure? Let's find out, people. Okay, so the space I have to build on is 96 by 128 studs. It's all just ocean right now, there's nothing. Which means we're gonna need a lot of Lego pieces. So let's make a quick run to the Lego store. Okay, so since this is a Minecraft world, we're gonna need some Minecraft sets. So let's go cop some sets right now. Minecraft right here, boys. We're gonna get this bunny set, get one of those. This is a $10 one.
Alright, code 120.05.
Do you take Lego currency? I went into free play to get all these.
I believe you, but unfortunately.
Are you sure? Sorry about that. I'll just pay with debit then. Appreciate it. Have a good one. So now we're gonna take this back to the crib and we're gonna go start our Minecraft world. So let's go right now. Okay, so back at the crib, it was time to unbox the sets. Okay, this one's pretty cool. It's got a bouncing bunny on it. It's also got this. But there's one problem I realized. Since this has to be a custom Minecraft world, using complete sets to fill in the spaces would pretty much be cheating. So my next logical step was to dump out all the bags I bought and figure out what parts, minifigures, and accessories I would likely use. Here's a rabbit, sunflower, zombie, weird skin that nobody would ever use in the game. As for all these other pieces, they're gonna be used to help make this build. And lastly, I ordered some bricks. If only these were bags of money. Maybe I ordered a little too much. Okay, so to begin our Minecraft world, we need to make a home for our boy Steve, aka the main character of this world. And as someone who plays survival all the time, let's make a survival base. I'm thinking some sort of cabin made of logs and stone. So I'm gonna use some brown bricks for the logs on the corners of the house and some gray pieces for the cobblestone. I'm gonna add some furniture inside now. And then I went ahead and added some survival essentials and even some armor so Steve's extra protected. And on the outside, I wanted to make a small place to hold a few animals, so I finessed some parts from one of the sets I bought and I made a spot to keep 2 foxes. I also made a custom birch tree using some black and white plates and some green bricks for the leaves. And a few more touches, a chef's kiss, and boom, our survival base was complete. Now it's time to expand out and make some sort of biome. And one of the most unique ones out there is probably Mushroom Island. Mushrooms grow on it, and there's even cows where mushrooms grow on it. Lego made a Mushroom Island set about 5 years ago, so I'm gonna take it as inspiration. For the dirt blocks, I'm gonna use gray for the top layer instead of green for normal grass blocks. Now we can start forming the landscape and making it look like an actual island. I got a mushroom cow from one of the sets, so let's go ahead and throw that in, as well as some small shrooms around the island. And for the big mushrooms, I'm gonna make a red one and a brown one, kind of like the ones you eat. Now our mushroom island looks fully complete, and Steve has a new biome to explore. Okay, so we built Steve a house and a private island to explore, so life is going well for him. But we're also gonna need a place for him to mine ore and rack up on diamonds so we can be all dripped up in the finest armor. So behind his house, I'm gonna add a cave. In this spot, I'm gonna build a mountain using gray bricks for the rocks, and I'm also gonna leave a hole in the middle for a cave where Steve can mine. But for the ore, I'm gonna make some custom blocks with studs, so I'll throw in some coal, some iron, emeralds, and I know that diamonds don't spawn above ground, but I'm gonna throw some in anyway. On top of the cave, I'm gonna add some soil, but even with that, this rock formation looks as bald as Dwayne Johnson, the Rock himself. So putting in the work and hours, I also added some trees, some flowers, animals, and even a beehive on one of the trees. And lastly, I'm gonna fill the inside of this cave with lots of water using some transparent bricks, and I'll even throw some axolotls because those are pretty cute as well. Okay, now let's make another biome. I really like spruce forest, but my favorite of them all is the old growth taiga, which is pretty much like a spruce forest but on steroids. It's way cooler because the trees are super tall and big. The grass in these biomes is slightly different in color, so I'm gonna use some sand green plates. How about we put the taiga in this corner of the map right here? And to make the trees, I'm gonna make them 4 times as thick as my normal trees, and I'm gonna use some dark green bricks for the leaves. And then we can make a second one. Slightly different design. In old growth taigas, there's also podzol, which is like uniquely colored grass blocks. So to impersonate those, I'm just gonna use some dark orange plates. I'm also gonna throw in some extra details like some mossy cobblestone, some sweet berries, a wolf, and a fox. And it looks like our old growth taiga is complete. Okay, so I think I've decided I want this part of the world to have cold biomes. So another one we can add is the ice spike biome. Pretty much a biome full of snow and these really tall towers of ice. So to start, I'm gonna make the landscape using white plates to impersonate snow as the top layer of dirt. I'm also gonna leave some space between this biome and the taiga because I want to add a river. We're gonna make it extra icy though, and we might as well throw in a few polar bears as well. This transition here looks really bad, so we're gonna fade it a little bit just to help blend it in together. That looks much better. Now it's time to make the ice spikes. So for those, I'm gonna use some light blue bricks and place them randomly to look natural. But to top them off, I'm gonna add some white tiles. Now they look super smooth as ice should be. I'm also gonna add a stray, which is an exclusive mob to this biome. And I'm also gonna add an Arctic fox because they're pretty cute. And since this place is so icy, I think we should throw in Little Boat. Oh, not the little boat I was thinking of, but that works too, I guess. I think it's about time we give this Minecraft world a village. To hurt your brain, here's a block of compressed 8x16 plates that I squished together in a past video. Definitely need some of these. I'm gonna make this a plains village. Because of that, we also need to do some work to blend it in with the ice spikes biome. I want to make an iconic villager house, so I'm gonna use some brown bricks for the log corners and some gray bricks for the cobblestone walls. Now we can finish building up the walls, and then finally, we can add a roof. And now we have a sick crib for our villagers. If I think about it, there's not a sustainable source of food in this world, so I'll add a small farm with some wheat, carrots, potatoes, and I'll even throw in some melons and a pumpkin. We also need a drinking source, so I'll go ahead and add a small fountain. And for the village, I'll throw in some tan tiles for the shoveled dirt. And for some shade, I'll also throw in a couple trees. We can now add our villagers, and since this one's a farmer, I'll give him a hat. I'll also make some wheat blocks and a few mobs to bring this to life, like an iron golem and a few chickens. Okay, this is ironic, but what if we included a world inside a world? So I grabbed some black and purple parts to make a nether portal because we're gonna recreate the nether. Let's start with some simple landscaping, which uses dark red bricks for netherrack. Man, that's so tedious. Now it's time to make my favorite thing to find in the nether, which is a nether fortress. So I'm gonna take a ton of these modified bricks that look like actual bricks to build my way up and make this giant pillar. And on top, I'll throw a wither skeleton in, a normal skeleton, and a blaze. This build is looking a little too red for my taste, so to add some variety and color, I'm gonna throw in a warp tree using some blue bricks and plates. And lastly, let's add some lava to make this place extra dangerous looking as it should be, and a few extra mobs like this magma cube that I got from one of the sets I bought, and this thing's pretty satisfying. And voila, our nether world is officially complete. Okay, so now let's go back over to Mushroom Island and start adding stuff near it. Personally, my favorite biome in Minecraft is the jungle. It's a rare biome, and when you run into one, you feel super happy. It's also super lush and it looks pretty. So let's start by forming the landscape and figuring out where this is going to be in our world. We definitely need to make one of the iconic jungle trees, so I'm gonna build a thick pillar of brown bricks for the trunk, and I'm gonna top it off with some green bricks for the leaves. Let's also add some cocoa beans. Now we can start adding some ground level plants to make this really look like a jungle. Sadly, I don't have any Minecraft pandas we can use in this build. I guess this will work. But we might as well throw in some bamboo. I also don't have any parrots, which kind of sucks, but I'll just make my own using some small parts. And boom, we just saved money to buy a set that had one. Now let's throw in a few more mobs, and bing bong, our jungle is officially finished. At this point, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was getting really tired, so it was time to go to sleep. I made sure to put Steve in bed as well. I want to add another warm biome to go with the jungle, and an iconic one I can think of off the top of my head is the savanna. It's a biome that looks like Africa. I'm going to use a slightly different color of green to make the grass, but something unique about the savanna is that there's acacia trees, and they pretty much have gray bark. So to build them, I'm going to use some gray bricks. There's loads of grass in this biome as well, so I'm going to throw in an illegal building technique to design it, and it's where you take a tile and sandwich it in between 2 studs. Don't worry though, I'll shortly be switching states and changing my name after this video is published, so the cops don't chase me. We can add a few more final touches like a wandering trader with his 2 llamas and a cow, and bing bong, another biome secured in the bag. Another important thing to make on my list is the mesa biome. It's like the Grand Canyon but in Minecraft. So to design this biome, we're gonna need a ton of unique colors like dark orange, and we're gonna use that for the sand, which will form the landscape of this build. And as we finish that, we can start creating a mound of terracotta using multiple layers of color just to really show the effects of erosion. Lastly, we can throw in some rabbits as well as some dead plants because this biome is pretty hot. And bam, new biome unlocked for Stevie boy. And next to this mesa biome, I also want to add a desert. So I'm going to take a bunch of tan bricks and start laying out some sand because I do want to make space for something super iconic from this biome, which is the desert pyramid. Since we're running out of space, making an accurately scaled one would be a little too big to fit, so instead I'm going to make a smaller version. And to go with that, we can make some custom cactuses, add a few more plants, and 2 villagers. And it looks like our desert is complete. And it looks like we're running out of space, so in this final spot, I'm gonna put a swamp.
What are you doing in my swamp?
What makes swamps unique though is that there's trees with vines growing off of them, so I'm gonna add a few of those to this build. These biomes are also notorious for witch huts, so let's build one using some brown bricks for the wood. And after building this, I did realize I don't actually own a witch minifigure, but since this is a swamp, we can compensate by adding donkey. So in Minecraft, there's always that one kid who cheats by using X-ray and has tons of diamonds. So let's go ahead and make a full-on diamond house. It's super simple. I'm legit just gonna use this one single blue color. Okay, so my boy Sacred actually made a Lego Minecraft world of his own, so I'm gonna go call him right now and see if there's something I could add to this build. Yo, what's good, Poppy? Yo, so I made a Minecraft world, and I need you to hit me up with, like, an idea.
What I want you to build are 2 trees burning to the ground as if they were hit with a flint and steel.
Let's light this tree on fire. Next, I went onto Instagram to ask y'all what I should add to this Minecraft world, and we had some good responses. The most popular one was Technoblade, so to pay respects to his recent passing, I'm gonna make a statue of him outside of Steve's house. Here's also Steve running from a bunch of angry bees. Someone also suggested a cobblestone generator, so here's one. Also a circle cake just to make you all mad, and a spider cow. Never heard of that before, but I'm assuming I'll just replace the head of the spider with a cow, and wow, that's really cursed looking. Also a creeper walking up behind Steve, and a goat pushing Steve off a cliff. Man, Steve is just getting so tortured in this video. Lastly, someone suggested making a dirt hut, so my only logical thinking was to put it next to the diamond house. I'll also build a giant pillar of sand with a bunch of loot at the bottom to show that Steve attempted to skybase, but miserably fell to his death. Now, I had this on my list to make, but I want to recreate the end world. The problem, though, is that I'm out of table space, so it looks like we're going to have to literally build on the floor. For the ground blocks, I'm going to use a bunch of tan bricks. Something super iconic about this world are the obsidian pillars they have to shoot the little crystals on top of, so I'm going to build that with black bricks and also some purple studs. I'm also going to create the portal that you jump in after you defeat the ender dragon, and I'm also going to make a custom ender dragon egg. And finally, we can put our ender dragon, and it looks like our end world is complete. It's crazy to realize how in 3 days we transformed what was originally an ocean as boring as moms who upload photos of their baby to Facebook to a full-on Minecraft world that someone can explore, interact with, and take as their own. Also, special thanks to Emix Music for producing a lot of the beats in this video, and most importantly, go check out Sacred's video where he made his own Minecraft world. Anything you gotta say, Sacred?
Mine is better than Ty's.
Are you challenging me?
Thanks for watching, hope y'all enjoyed, and keep stacking those bricks like it's money.
Let's go, let's go, let's go to the jungle.
In this video, I'm gonna buy super rare and expensive Lego pieces and minifigs. We're gonna be looking at everything from $30 Lego pieces to a Lego minifig expensive enough to buy a car. This list is crazy, and I'm nervous because I spent a lot on this video, so let's go. So there's different kinds of goats out there. There's a regular goat, a Minecraft goat, little boat. But what if I told you there's an overpriced Lego goat that came in one medieval set from 2011 and goes for a whopping 100 buckaroos? So I went ahead and ordered one. I can't believe this one piece cost the same as this $100 Lego set with close to 1,000 pieces. People these days be flexing with their yachts and Lambos, but I be out here flexing with the Lego goat. But for the memes, I think it was a worthwhile investment. I'm just shocked by how expensive this costed. Big brain moves. Okay, now what's an expensive rare minifigure part? Well, I did some searching and I found this dark tan female hairpiece that runs for $30. Turns out it only appeared in one Monster Fighter set from a while back, so that explains why. So here's what it looks like in person, and I'm blown away how financially insensitive I was to order this. But hey, it's for content, guys. We might as well put it to use, so what's an iconic person we can make with this piece? Oh, we can make a Karen. So using some minifig parts and a few extra pieces, we can have a Karen reporting someone on her phone doing an illegal building technique to her 13 Facebook followers. Let's all agree though, people, he does need to be behind bars. Okay, now what's a large piece that's rare? Well, I bought this boat hull a while back which measured almost 2 feet and I paid $120 for it. Well, I found this large raised base plate with cool details on it that only featured in one set from over 20 years ago, and I bought it for $75. I think it actually looks pretty cool, so let's go ahead and build something to go on it. I want to make a section of a forest, so using a bunch of my plant pieces, I'm gonna add some bushes, flowers, and trees to go around this build. And there's an empty spot here, so how about we add a rock? Oh wait, not that rock. Okay, that's more like it. As a final touch, I'm gonna throw in an old off-roader car, and boom, it looks like we have a complete section of a forest. Before we go to our next idea, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Monster Legends. Monster Legends is a free mobile game where you can collect close to 1,000 different monsters with different elements and rarities and build your own monster empire. You can collect food, gold, and gems to expand it. You can also breed your monsters to get eggs of completely new species. These eggs can then hatch into baby monsters. Feed them to evolve them, level them up, and boost their powers with runes, relics, and talents. You can team up with your bros, challenge each other and other players online to monster battles where you can win trophies and tons of other rewards. Win at all costs, no mercy. Become a member of an alliance, interact with other monster masters, and join exclusive events where you can unlock chests with awesome rewards. I mean, there's literally a YouTuber island where you can find monsters created by actual YouTubers. Find your favorite ones, check out their monsters, the unique skills they chose for them, and put them to the test. So click the link below right now or scan this QR code, download Monster Legends, and you will get a juicy starter pack, including this fire habitat and 3 epic monsters from the Volcano Keepers team, including Hellborus, Fireskew, and Salamander.
Wow.
Thank you, Monster Legends, for sponsoring this video. Anyway, back to losing brain cells on overpriced rare Lego. Okay, now what's a rare expensive minifigure? Well, say hello to the Coca-Cola Man. This is an exclusive soccer set from 2002 and it costed me $120. But the reason why it's so expensive is partly because it's in a sealed bag, so this might be hard to watch. That felt like ripping off a band-aid. And I'm surprised this is even a Lego set because it literally has 4 pieces. 3 of those pieces being super common and appearing in a ton of other sets. So if you really think about it, I pretty much paid $100 whopping for this one torso that says Coca-Cola on it. Also, his face is kind of creepy. What if I told you that this handful of Lego is worth under $3, while this handful of Lego is worth $146? That makes no sense. Let's talk about rare and expensive building parts. Starting with this dish. It only came in 2 sets, and since it's a popular color, it costed $32. We need to make fire content from this, so I used it to help me build a lamp, also a dish for some ice cream, and also a pot for some plants. Here's a gray rotating plate that came in a few large and expensive Lego sets, and for this one, it costed me $22. Aside from the fact that it rotates, I don't know if it's worth that much money, but we need content, so I used it to make a record player. This is part number 30562, and it's a large rounded panel, but in this color black, it only appears in 2 sets from 2001, so it costs $35. But I don't get it because one in white only costs 25 cents. Bruh. Okay, Lego. It's such a random piece, I don't even know what to make with it. Maybe a shower, or a bed, or a speed bump for a car, or speed bump for my bank account because of how expensive it is. This is part 47405, and it's an oddly shaped plate. But in light gray, it only appeared in 2 sets, and the cheapest one I could find costed $33. Mom, please don't be mad. It's for content. Also, here's part number 3063, which is a macaroni brick, and in this specific color, which is sand green, it came in a rare Statue of Liberty set from 2000. Cheapest one I could find costed $25, but it's still super expensive. Okay, now it's time to see if any of my boys have some rare expensive Lego that I could use in this video. So I got in touch with my boy Alex, and he sent a package. He sent over some rare Star Wars characters. Here's a Lego Count Dooku minifig from Star Wars and the Attack of the Clones. He came in 1 set from 2013, which originally sold for $40, but now just him alone as a minifig costs $60. Here's an X-Wing pilot. He came in set number 75098, Assault on Hoth, and the cheapest one I could find went for $145. And here's Wampa, which is a fluffy white monster from Star Wars that tried eating my boy Luke Skywalker. It also looks like the Yeti from Monsters, Inc. It came in 2 Star Wars sets, and the cheapest one I could find online goes for $22. And here's a Dewback, which looks like a banana slug with legs. He comes in 1 Star Wars Cantina set from 2014 and now goes for $20. I asked y'all on Instagram what we should name him, and we got a lot of good answers like Larry, Fred, Todd, Kevin, Boris, Herbert, and Yo Mama. Of course, someone had to make that joke. I say we name him Herbert, so to celebrate, let's give him some chicken. Also, Alex sent me some rare Minecraft stuff. So in 2017, LEGO released set number 21137, the Mountain Cave, which to this day is the most expensive and largest LEGO Minecraft set. It's like the holy grail of LEGO Minecraft because it includes a ton of exclusive mobs like this slime that now goes for $100. You can open it and there's even some baby slimes inside. Also this charged creeper, which is different than normal creepers because it looks like it's about to blow up. The price for this also blew up because at one point it went for $100. Here's 2 normal LEGO wolves, and here's 2 wolves that are exclusive to the set, and the only difference is that their eyes are red because they're angry. The bigger one is worth $45 and the smaller one is worth $40. Bad dog. Uh-oh, he didn't like that. Like the video if you think my dog is cooler. And here's a black sheep. Minecraft sheep are usually pretty common, but little do people know this one in black is extremely rare and only exclusive to the set. I looked it up and the headpiece alone goes for $100. Okay, now it's time for the grand finale. Here are 2 minifigures that cost a ridiculous amount of money. I got in touch with my boy Wappy Bricks and he sent over a $500 Jango Fett minifigure. It's literally in like a ring box. Will you marry me? Let's go! It came in 1 Star Wars set from 2002. And I bet most people who've owned this were little toddlers who ended up sticking it up their nose or losing it in a home AC vent. So to find one in pristine condition like this is a real keeper. As a joke, I went on to offer up to sell this super cheap with a bunch of crappy Star Wars minifigs as if I didn't realize how rare it was, and we got some of the thirstiest scammers. I could pick up today. I could pay a deposit. I'll do 110 cash. I promise I'm real. But LEGO eventually made an updated Jango Fett 10 years later, which came in 1 set, and the cheapest cheapest one I could find was $40. And for the most expensive minifigure of all, a minifigure worth enough to buy a car, the Holy Grail, the Air Jordan 1 Chicago and Charizard Pokemon card of the LEGO community. Say hello to Mr. Gold, a Series 10 collectible minifigure released in 2013, and only 5,000 of these were made. But since then, many have been damaged, lost, or kept away by the thirstiest of LEGO collectors. So to see one in person is a true sight to behold. And my boy Alex hooked me up with one. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. The only issue, it doesn't come with the staff piece. And also one of the arms had to be replaced because it apparently cracked, but it's Mr. Gold. And checking online, some of these go for as much as $6,000. It just blows my mind how much people would be willing to pay for a LEGO minifig. Thank you, Alex. Please, go give him some love. Well, it looks like now that this video's over, I'm left with a bunch of rare, expensive LEGO to go flex with. Once again, thank you, Monster Legends, for sponsoring this video. Make sure you download the game and claim your free starter pack to get a head start in the game and level up quicker. Thank you for watching, and don't commit any illegal building techniques. In this video, we're going to be looking at several satisfying things that you can do with LEGO. Let's go. So our first satisfying trick is this small cube, and when I take it apart, you can see how it's made. I used 4 2x2 plates and 4 of these 1x2 panels for the outside of the cube, and to connect them all together, I used a singular 2x2 tile. When you're finished, you have a perfectly shaped cube, and Minecraft Steve approves. I believe this is an illegal building technique, so be checking your window to make sure the cops aren't outside when you do this. You can also replicate the same cube instead using a giant lipstick piece and a plant element. Another satisfying trick, well, this isn't really a trick, but just plucking the leaves on these small plant pieces. It actually sounds like ASMR. Now, before you fall asleep, here's another trick that I've shown on the channel before, and it's a bendable plate trick. So to do it, you need to take a net piece and sandwich it in between 2 layers of plates, and to keep it all held together, you're gonna also need to use some studs. And when you're finished, you have this really trippy looking surface that you can use to make cool creations like an ocean.
Let me dry the boot.
This trick is so satisfying that I feel like I can die peacefully like Master Oogway. Now, base plates are a great tool to use when building, but I've always noticed how thin and flimsy they are. And you also can't connect anything to the bottom of them, like what the heck? Well, they're actually so thin that they're equivalent in thickness to a normal plate when you put them over studs. So essentially, you can sandwich them perfectly between 2 plates. Another satisfying trick is pressing down a bunch of plates and hearing the sound. Ooh, that sounded nice. So here's a bunch of 8x16 plates, and on the count of 3, I'm gonna step on them. 3, 2, 1. Quick push-ups. This thing is like solid plastic. It's so dense. Don't get me wrong, that sounded amazing, but think of all the hard work I'm gonna have to do now taking these apart. Okay, here's a trick that involves some bricks, and it's another bendable one. But this one's pretty simple because all you need are bricks and plates to make this. Pretty much you build a bunch of layers like this that are 1 stud wide, and you connect them all together with some 1x2 bricks. You can make it as long as you want, and the longer you make it, the more bendy it will be. This trick is so satisfying that at this point, you might as well just click out of this video. Actually, no, don't do it. Okay, now time for a quick little speed run. Here's 10 quick and easy LEGO tricks that require under 10 pieces. Here's a simple trick where you can take a 1x3 arch and put a small 1x1 slope underneath it. There's absolutely no gap between the two, and they fit perfectly snug. You can also take 4 of these eyelet bricks and connect them all together into a square. From here, you can build on 4 different sides. Next, you can take a bunch of these flat studs and put them inside a large brick. If the brick is transparent, it looks extra cool. Maybe you can use this as like a modern decoration in a house, or it just looks like a small aquarium. You can also make simple columns using 4 tiles that are 1 stud in width and squeezing them into the inner edges of a 2x2 plate. From there, you can add 1 more 2x2 plate on the other end to hold it all together. This next trick requires only 2 parts, some sort of plate that's 3x3 or larger, and a cylinder brick with these jagged edges. If you're a normal compliant citizen, you'll likely put the 2 together like this, but what if I told you there's a more savage way to connect them? All you gotta do is angle the cylinder brick 45 degrees, push it down, then boom, it can go between the studs on a plate. This next trick is really random but pretty poggers. If you take 2 eyelet bricks, put them together, and add a plate, you'll have something that is perfectly 1 brick thick. On top of that, you're able to build on 2 different sides. This next trick is totally illegal. If you take 2 of these modified bricks, you can face them in opposite directions with a 1x2 tile. Maybe you can use it to make a bench for a minifig. Keep in mind though, you'll likely ruin your tile doing this. Please like the video because I'm risking myself going to jail just to make entertaining content for you guys. Here's another random trick where you can sandwich 2 arches between a cylinder brick using some of these modified plates. It's perfectly flush flush and there's no gap. You can possibly use this to make some cool flooring design for a house. You can also take a Technic plate and put the flower pieces in between the studs into the holes and they don't fall out. I also wanted to somehow find a way to use a hot dog, aka glizzy, in this video. So here's a simple trick where you can make a crossbow for your minifigs. It also uses some of these wrench looking pieces. Another satisfying trick is taking one of these plates with a lip and putting them inside a modified brick with a groove. In this case, you have a cool sliding mechanism. Okay, so for this next trick, I did a quick speed run to Target because the next trick requires Duplo pieces.
Wow.
Yep, that's right. You can legit connect a regular brick on top of a Duplo brick. The Lego company purposefully wanted them to be compatible, and I never thought I'd be buying a Duplo set at the age of 19. And I'm not really sure what to do with these pieces now either. Another satisfying trick is taking 4 2x2 plates, connecting them together, then adding a 2x2 tile on top. In this case, you have a perfect cube that no matter what direction you face it in, it still fits inside a 2x2 stud space perfectly. If you have some of these small 1x1 slopes, you can do some really cool artwork with them. It's extremely tedious, but if you're patient enough, you can loosely place them down to design some cool patterns. Just keep in mind though, it's super fragile, so if you tilt it the wrong way, you can like lose all your progress. Okay, so now it was time to go onto Instagram and ask what you thought were some satisfying Lego tricks, and we had some good answers. Well, most of you guys had good answers, but let's check out some of the popular ones. Digging through a bin of studs. Wow, feels like I'm massaging my hand. Lego pizza that bends down like the cheese is dripping. I'm not sure if I agree with the no pineapple part though. You can make a cube out of 8 headlight bricks. You can stack ice cream pieces. Splashing studs in a pool. Wow, that sounded so nice. Putting on a sticker perfectly. Making color gradients is also really satisfying. There's also these really cool stop motions I've seen of people cutting food, and it just turns into Lego. From the Lego Minecraft sets, there's apparently these magma cubes that split into layers, and they're apparently super satisfying. I don't actually own one of these, so I followed some instructions online and built one myself. That's very satisfying. Someone mentioned an infinity cube. Here's one I built that uses some hinges, plates, and tiles. Pretty much how an infinity cube works, it's like a little fidget toy. You keep rotating these pieces, and it just goes on forever and ever.
Wow.
Apparently this person wants to be in the video. Bruh. This person told me to cut handcuff pieces and use them as watches on minifigs. Now my minifigs can be all iced out in that drip.
Drip too hard, don't stand too close.
Using a clone antenna and a 2x2 stud with mini bar hole as a door handle. I actually never knew this trick was possible, and I've gotta say, I'm in love with it. Punch a Lego person's face. Okay, here's a final bendable trick you can do. This one is a bendable wall, which uses 1x2 plates and studs. But apparently you can do the same trick, but with only bricks. It just needs to be a lot longer. And after a lot of building, I had a finished product. Let's see if it works. There you go. It actually works. Here's a cool square you can make with smooth edges and a hollow square in the middle. Just take 4 of these brackets, connect them all together, then finish the edges off with some tiles. And here's a cool trick you can do with bricks that have studs on the sides, plates, and jumper plates. Pretty much you can build a surface that will slowly change in length, and it looks really clean. Okay, so I saved this one for last because it's probably my favorite trick of all, but it involves some really interesting physics.
Wow.
Here's a Lego built tensegrity structure that uses some chain pieces to make it look like a part of this build is floating in the air. If you look closely though, it makes sense why this floats, because one side is hanging off and putting a force on the other side, which is being held down. So basically all the forces balance out. At this point, you've likely reached nirvana and found inner peace from all these satisfying tricks, or the FBI could be outside your window right now from doing all the illegal ones. But comment below what your favorite trick is. Give this video a like because I did have to spend 5 embarrassing minutes in self-checkout buying a Duplo set. It's okay though, I just made up the excuse that I was buying it for a younger sibling. Hope y'all enjoyed, thanks for watching, and take care my broskies. Coming next week. I have like illegal building techniques with you.
Building?
Do you want to like build a Lego world with me? Like, can I copy your number maybe? Oh, there's a spider! There's a spider! Ah!
We had a good time, but we're heading out.
In this video, I'm going to take major and iconic periods and events in history and recreate them using Lego. We're going to start from the very beginning of time and work our way to the future. Let the challenge begin. Now, Earth has existed for a thick minute, which means there's a lot to cover, and we have no time to waste. So let's begin as far back as I can think of, the dinosaur age. Here's a pterodactyl, which is a flying dinosaur, a triceratops, which is a vegetarian dinosaur, and a T-Rex, which is the most dangerous and deadly dinosaur. I'm gonna also build them a tiny habitat to live in with a few trees and water. All we have to do now is make this feel like a National Geographic documentary.
The female dinosaur watches over the eggs.
But sadly, dinosaurs took a massive L and went extinct, so it's time to introduce the earliest humans to exist. Ooga booga! But they only knew basic things like how to hunt, make a fire, make clothing, make tools, and make basic shelters, so I'm gonna go ahead and build one out of stone. Wow, this house looks so ancient. Hey Sacred, I think I found your mom's house.
Wait, I found your mom. She's right here.
But over the following years, humans grew smarter and continued to populate the earth, forming massive civilizations that exist to this day. Let's start with Egypt, which began over 5,000 years ago. It was known for pyramids, pharaohs, and elaborate palaces, which I'm gonna recreate in Lego, so I'm gonna add some hieroglyphs to the wall, a golden throne to seat a pharaoh, a queen, 2 servants to defend the palace and serve food, and finally a snake charmer. Oh yeah, I never mentioned I added a booby trap. While Egypt was one of the first civilizations to exist, China was another major civilization, known for their paper, silk, gunpowder, noodles, the Great Wall of China to protect their territory, and Kung Fu, an ancient sport that taught self-defense and combat. I'm gonna build a dojo in Lego with 2 students and a very wise sensei to train them. Fight! On the opposite side of the world, in the continent of South America, was the Mayan civilization, so I'm gonna build it in Lego. Yes! They actually invented popcorn, burritos, and chocolate. Chocolate was so popular that the Mayans actually used it as money. This is how Mayan people used to flex. Meanwhile, the Indian civilization invented yoga, the number system, and toilets. They look like this. So let's attempt to build one in Lego. But does it work? Yes, it does. There was also the Greek civilization, and they invented the Olympics, a series of competitive athletic events like there was foot racing, horse racing, boxing, wrestling, long jump, javelin, and discus. But the most powerful of all civilizations was the Roman Empire. They were known for their magnificent architecture, advanced government, and the strongest military in the world with highly trained soldiers and advanced weaponry like catapults. But in the year 476, Rome was attacked by barbaric tribes and collapsed. But shortly after, a new society would take its place. Now we enter medieval times. I just got a special package in the mail, and it has some important people we're gonna need. Alright, come out, boys. Now, medieval Europe was a 1,000-year period known for kings who ruled the land, knights who protected the land, and peasants who worked the land. There were also castles, which were massive fortifications used to protect the king. So I'm gonna go ahead and build one in Lego, adding a few watchtowers, a jester to entertain guests, then we can add our knights, and most importantly, every castle needs a king. So here he is, and we don't have a name for him, so I'm just gonna call him the Burger King.
Yes, sir.
Now, despite all the castles, knights, and kings, Europe was actually very poor during this time period because peasants made 85% of the population. Some people had to steal to make money and survive, and these people were known as Vikings. They were warriors that explored the sea to conquer and plunder coastal towns. And to travel, they used these boats called longboats, which were double-ended, meaning they could move in either direction. So they were extremely maneuverable and very effective for battle. And no, Vikings did not own dragons, guys. Now, after 1,000 years of medieval times, we enter a new chapter of history where music, art, and literature began to flourish across Europe. This became known as the Renaissance. There were several influential people during this time, like Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and he was known as one of the forefathers of classical music. Yo, this is fire. When's his next album dropping? And this is William Shakespeare, who was known for writing famous poems. And this is Leonardo da Vinci, who was a famous painter and created the Mona Lisa, which is one of the most famous paintings to this day. Perfection. Europe was also making major discoveries during this time. This is Christopher Columbus, who was an explorer that traveled across the Pacific Ocean and discovered the continent of North America. And with such a discovery, people from across the world were coming here to make a new home, explore, trade, or to steal. And the people to do that were pirates. So the next thing I'm gonna build is an old Lego set I found on the internet from 1989, and it's a massive pirate ship. It costed me $300. Pirates were known to travel by sea and plunder major trade routes going to North America for gold, weapons, food, and resources.
Runneth thy pocket.
They were also known for attacking coastal towns, so I went ahead and built a tiny fort on an island, armed with cannons and French soldiers. So we're gonna let them go to battle, and we're gonna see who wins. Okay, well, it looks like the pirates took that W. And while pirates were robbing people, others were exploring the inmost regions of North America. This was known as the Wild West, a time when pioneers searched the western region of the continent for its land and natural resources. It was known for cowboys, outlaws, Native Americans, and western towns, which I'm gonna recreate in Lego. I'm gonna start by constructing a salon, which was a town building that provided meals and entertainment to people. Next to it, I'm gonna add a drinking station for horses, and every western town had a jail, so I'm gonna go ahead and build one. That way we can lock up any criminals. And there you go. This is what old American western towns would have looked like during the 1800s. At this time, the world was quickly advancing in science and technology, and this became the Industrial Revolution. There were a lot of things invented during this time. For example, the first train was invented in 1804. That train low-key looking sus though. The first camera was invented in 1816, and this allowed people to document important people, places, and events. Dynamite was invented in 1866. In 1876 was the typewriter, and this allowed people to write way quicker. The same year, the phone was invented, and it made communicating way easier. The light bulb was invented in 1879, so that's pretty lit. The first car was invented in 1886, and at the time, people used horses to get around, so this pretty much eliminated that. The first plane successfully flew in 1903 and allowed people to travel by air. But shortly after the Industrial Revolution came a period of global wars. There was World War I and World War II. So I'm gonna speed build a battle in Lego with two armies fighting each other, a destroyed building that I used a lot of tiny pieces to make. I'm gonna give Army number 1 an airplane, which at this time had advanced a lot in design. And I'm gonna give Army number 2 a tank, which was one of the inventions made during World War I. Bruh, I literally just built that. But in 1945, the wars came to an end. At this point, the world was advancing more rapidly than ever. We were literally sending people to space. In 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first person to set foot on the moon. Music was rapidly evolving, with new styles being introduced like rock, electronic music, pop, and hip-hop. Television was also getting really popular, which gave rise to the Hollywood industry and the production of major movies. In 1989, the internet was invented, and this allowed people to talk, learn, entertain, and work from home. Hey yo, what's he watching right now? Then came microwaves, robots, credit cards, skateboards, printers, video games, Lego, iPhones, social media, and drones. And just like that, we have reached the present day. But to be honest, after seeing all that cool history, the present day kind of feels boring. But we're only stopping here for a quick snack because we're left with one final time period to visit on our journey, and it's the future. Now, what do people think of when they think of the future? Some people think we'll be able to fly. Others think we might be able to teleport. We might be able to clone humans, become invisible, or eliminate aging so we never die. Or, I mean, some people just think the world's gonna be destroyed. If you're watching this in 1,000 years from now, comment below if I did an accurate job. And it looks like that officially completes our journey through history. I think it's time for me to head back home. I'll catch you guys on the other side.
Comment which period of time you would want to live in the most if you were a Lego minifigure. Hopefully, this video was a little educational. Thank you for watching, and Ooga Booga.
We gotta go right now. We gotta go.
In this video, I'm going to be attempting and breaking world records using Lego. Let the challenge begin. Let's begin with minifigure world records, starting with the shortest Lego man. Okay, that's our first record set. And if you're wondering how I did that, I took a tube piece and threaded it between two Technic bricks. What about the Lego minifig with the tallest head, biggest head, and finally, the tiniest face? What about the world's widest Lego man? At this point, we're not even breaking world records, we're creating superpowers. What about the most dead Lego man, the most angry Lego man, and the most corny Lego man? Bruh. What about the Lego man with the most riz? Here's an ordinary Lego man, so let's give him a fresh cut, a varsity jacket, hat, and a pair of shades, that way he can look stylish. And finally, let's give him a phone so that he can slide into people's DMs. Now it's time to see the results. Oh my gosh, it's unspoken riz. You know what? Let me try this. Dang. Well, that's kind of a bummer. I guess it didn't work. What about the world's most cold minifig, most sus minifig, most chicken minifig, and finally, the most clean minifig? It's Mr. Clean himself. What about the world's richest Lego minifig? Well, here's Batman because he's pretty rich. Here's a $100 Lego bill, and multiply that by 1,000, and we have $100,000 in Lego money. On top of that, we're gonna give him some gold, diamonds, jewelry, rare NFTs that are also probably worth a lot of money, movie theater snacks because everyone knows those are overpriced, and finally, some Lego game currency. This is definitely every Lego minifig's biggest flex. Wow. This also feels really massaging for my hands. What about the world's tallest Lego minifig? Bruh. Nice. Everyone's gonna be asking this guy now if he plays basketball. Nice. What about the most W Lego man? Wow, this guy really took that phrase quite literally. What about gaming world records? Here's a Lego Steve minifig from Minecraft, and we're gonna try to get him to beat a world record. What about the fastest time to beat Lego Minecraft? Timer begins now. Okay, grab that wood. Now get the stone. Okay, craft a sword now. Get an ender pearl from the enderman real quick. Okay, now light that portal, go through, and get that blaze rod. Okay, now you can craft the eyes of ender. Put it on the portal, and get the ender dragon. Go, go, quick, quick. Yes, that was such a clean speed run. I bet Dream would be so jealous right now. Speaking of video games, you need to prepare for LEGO 2K Drive. It's an open world racing adventure game that drops on May 19th, and the developers let me play it early. You can collect and customize hundreds of different LEGO vehicles. Oh, look at this car. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Pick your driver, pick the most fresh-looking whip, and pick your adventure because there's also several giant maps to explore with tons of things to discover and find. You can go on-roading, off-roading, or even boating in the water. And just when you thought that was cool, you can do it in style. Because there's hundreds of different races, side quests, and mini-games you can find all around you. It's an open-world game with unlimited things to do, so you get to choose your adventure and you'll never get bored. So May 19th, buckle your seatbelts and prepare for one of the most W LEGO game experiences of all time. But speaking of racing, let's beat the world record for the fastest LEGO car. Insert the cool drifting montage. Oh crap, the wheels came off. Okay, now it's time to ask you guys on Instagram what world records I should break, and we got a lot of responses. What about the most glizzies eaten in 1 minute? And by doing that, we also beat the world record for the biggest Lego man. What about the most scoops of ice cream in 1 cone? Well, each of these ice cream pieces has 4 scoops, so let's see how many we can stack. Okay, that's 19 pieces, so multiply that by 4, so that's 76 scoops of ice cream. Here's the world's tiniest Lego house. It's built on a 6x8 base plate, and it comes with a kitchen, dining room, bathroom with a shower, and a bed up on top. Here's the Lego man with the world's longest neck. Here's the biggest bird. And someone requested the most dangerous Lego thing to step on, so I went ahead and grabbed the sharpest, pointiest Lego pieces I can find in my collection and made this. But the real question to answer is, does this really hurt? Ow! Oh. Yeah, that definitely did. I had to take it for the team, y'all. What about the fastest Lego builder? It's definitely gonna be Emmett because there's literally a whole movie about him being a master builder. But to put it to the test, I'm gonna have him build the 600-piece Lego set. Go! Wow, Emmett really is built different, guys.
Yes, sir.
What about animal world records? Like, for example, the creepiest Lego animal. And what's more creepy than a spider? And if you don't like the video, this will be under your bed tonight. So I then went to Petco to see what the other spiders think of him. Look, I brought you a little friend. Wow, that was really creepy, but to compensate, I'm gonna make the world's cutest Lego animal now. I think guinea pigs are pretty cute, so I built one in Lego. Yo, check it out, I made you in Lego. Wait, hold on, are you the guy from that G-Force movie? What about sport world records? Starting with the world's strongest Lego man. I'm gonna use Dwayne Johnson because he's pretty shredded. Let's see how he handles 1 dumbbell. Yeah, that was definitely light work. 2 dumbbells. 2 large dumbbells. Bench press. Let's add more weight. Now even more weight! Oh my gosh, the weights are so heavy that the bar's literally bending. And for the grand finale, can Dwayne Johnson lift a car? Yes, he can. Come on, don't give up on me now, Dwayne. It's about pride. It's about power. Okay, what about a house? Oh, I just realized there's balloons on top. Oh, okay, that's why he was able to lift it. What about the world's most powerful karate chop? Well, here's a ninja, but he's only a white belt, so first we need to train him and chop up some tiny boards. Ice! That was honestly so easy, and just like that, he's now become a black belt, and it's time to face the ultimate board to break, which is a 6x12 stud plate. Wow, this piece looks like chocolate that someone bit out of. What about the world's fastest Lego minifig? Well, here's a soccer player. And go! Wow, that was honestly super lame, but I have a better idea. Okay, I'm going 100. Is that a world record? What about the world's first Lego man to fly? If anyone can do it though, it's gonna be Buzz Lightyear. So I went to the dollar store and bought some Lego balloons.
I believe I can fly.
Goodbye, Buzz Lightyear. Oh wait, if you go to Mars, tell Elon Musk I said hi and that I want a free Tesla. Now, it is time for the final but most challenging world record to beat. I looked it up on the internet and apparently this guy built a 9,000 piece Lego Titanic set in just a little under 13 hours. So I'm gonna attempt to beat it. Step 1, go to the Lego store and blow $680 into my bank account to buy one of these. It was so heavy, I literally had to drag it through the mall back to my car. But when I brought it back to the studio, it was go time. This set had 46 bags and 719 pages worth of instructions. So I was obviously very nervous, but I knew I was gonna do everything in my power to take that juicy W. So the timer began. Okay, bag 1 completed. 4, 10, 12 bags. The biggest Lego set I've ever bought wasn't even half the size of this one. So I didn't really realize what I was getting myself into. Okay, we're a third the way done and we're at 3 hours. And obviously I'm a normal human being, so I was taking a few breaks to use the bathroom and go eat. The day was ending and the sun had already set, and after non-stop grinding, we had a result. I seriously can't believe we actually beat that guy's time. And now it feels good because I can go touch grass. But after building this set, I just realized it's so big, where am I gonna honestly put it? Oh crap. I mean, it is accurate because I mean, it did sink in real life, so. Comment your favorite world record. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. In this video, I'm going to be looking at over 10 different dumb, weird, and cursed knockoff Lego products. Let's go. Now, Lego's very expensive, and because of that, there's a lot of businesses around the globe that try creating a more cheap, affordable alternative that people like me who don't have daddy's money can play with, build, and experience. So I'm gonna be testing an assortment of them to answer the question, are these goated, or do I throw it? Commence the first round. This first Lego set we're gonna look at is from Block Tech, and it's called the Horned Arachne. Okay, the set comes with one minifig with very stubby arms, these custom weapons that he can hold, and a hole on top of his head. But most importantly, it also comes with this, a giant creepy looking spider with movable legs and a movable butt. But there were some issues with this set. First off, the spider was having trouble standing up. Second, I thought the minifig could ride the spider like on the box, but apparently you can't do that. Dang, that's why I bought the set too. I thought this was supposed to be like a little spider mobile. Honestly, I'm gonna have to throw this one. This next Lego set is based off of the Minions movie. Pretty much, it's a minion running a hot dog stand, and there's a play feature that will make the hot dog fly. Compared to the Lego hot dogs, these ones are really flat, but now that I think about it, that's actually more realistic. But the real question is, are these hot dogs bussin'? Well, on the box, this minion doobie look like he's enjoying those Lizzies, so I think the set's pretty goated. Okay, I found another set. This is $45, and it's a World Wrestling Entertainment ring set. And of course, your boy bought it. So it looks like a wrestling ring with 3 people that look like Wii Sport characters. It comes with a camera and this spinny thing that displays some real wrestlers. Wait, is that John Cena? Oh my gosh, guys, the set comes with John Cena. That's right, one of the greatest wrestling champions of all time came with this set. I mean, this is a pretty big set, so for $45, I'll say this thing is goated. What about something military related, like a tank? Oh, look at this one. This one comes with 2 minifigs. Wow, the visuals behind this set is amazing. I think I'm gonna order this, honestly. Well, turns out I bought it. And while I build this tank, you need to download World of Tanks. It's a free-to-play game where you can select between hundreds of different historically accurate tanks and take them into battle. They come in many shapes and sizes, with different abilities, and there's tanks from all over the world. Pick your favorite ones, upgrade them, take down the ops, and secure that W. You can use many different tactics to fight. You can rush into the heat of battle, shoot from afar, hide behind a bush, or plan a sneak attack with your squad. You can also take your battles to several different maps, whether it's in the middle of the desert, a cold wasteland, or beautiful rolling hills. So click the link in the description to download the game, and if you're a new player, use my code TANKMANIA to unlock a free starter pack that will give you your very own tank, all of this currency, 3 special rental tanks you can use in 10 battles each, and a week of premium access on the battlefield. Okay, and it looks like the tank is done. This one's in camo, and it comes with a turret that can rotate and move up and down. That way you can shoot down any ops. And it also comes with these 2 minifigs. Turns out they also have very long necks, which is very odd design. This tank looks realistic, and it's also a really good design, so I'm gonna say this one's goated. Now it's time to go outside and explore my town to find any knockoff Lego. The very first store I walked into, I found something. Oh my gosh, boys, we hit the jackpot. These are knockoff SpongeBob sets. Should I cop this set?
Yeah, that is possible.
Yes, sir. Okay, bet. I'm gonna get it then. I'm gonna cop this one. I'm also gonna cop this, and I'm gonna cop Squidward's house. Should I cop this, guys? I then went to checkout, secured the bag, then came back home. Okay, so these 3 sets were made by Nickelodeon, and they come with stickers. Some of them go over multiple pieces. Squidward's clarinet is right there. Also, the minifigs are very interesting. They actually have ball joints, so they can go in any direction. And if you want to lose some sleep tonight, just pop off SpongeBob's eyeballs. The thing I don't like about these sets is the houses in the car aren't the same scale as the minifigs, so you can't actually put them inside, really. So, honestly, I'm just gonna have to throw this. On my continued quest for knockoff Lego, I went to the very heart of interlocking plastic, the Lego store. Certainly, they must have what I'm looking for. Do you guys have, like, Mega Blocks by any chance?
No, unfortunately, it's a competitor of ours.
But just when I thought I would find it, it wasn't there, and it broke my heart. But don't worry, because I continued to search the land far and wide until I stumbled into this. Oh my gosh, guys, the ground is literally made out of Lego. Emmett definitely pulled up because only a master builder could have done something like this. Thankfully, I brought some Lego with me. You know I'm always bricked up, boys.
What do you mean by that?
I wanted to see if real Lego could connect to it, but obviously it couldn't. But I will say, this Lego sidewalk will be forever remembered. Okay, so we looked at a Minion set. Well, now we're gonna look at a Despicable Me 3 set. It's an outdoor park that comes with some of the characters from the movie, including Gru. Oh my gosh, he has so many joints on him. I can make him move however I want. This is amazing. Hey, okay, yes sir, let's see those move. And this set also gave me some interesting pieces, like these palm tree leaves, this round brick that can be held, and these lanterns. Yo, what the heck is this? This base plate has like 20 sides on it. Okay, I really liked the Gru minifig, so I'm gonna say the set is goated. Okay, I'm running low on money now, but I know someone who isn't. Wait, hey mom, where's your credit card at? Oh, there it is.
What are you doing?
Oh, actually, nothing. This next Lego set is by Creo, and it's called the City Street Chase. There's 2 police officers, and they're chasing down this criminal who stole money and has flames shooting out of his car. The minifigs are really tiny, but the heads are literally the same size as a normal minifigs. They're not even sitting in the car, they're just standing on top of it. This set doesn't have any play features, but at least it doesn't feel like a complete ripoff of Lego, so honestly, I'll let this one slide. I'll say this is pretty goated. Okay, my mom's credit card stopped working, so I'm gonna need someone else's. Okay, Grandma, I'm gonna borrow your credit card so that I can get your meds.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
This next product I bought on Amazon for $16, and it's very sus because it's from Among Us. It comes with 6 different characters. Some of them can open their mouths, others have arms, and I just noticed, why is this guy more thick than the other guy? The set also comes with little tasks to do like in the actual game. The only problem is I didn't get all the pieces and stickers like it showed on the website. But I like Among Us, so I'll say this is goated. Here's another product I bought on Amazon for $27, and it's this. Yep, a sniper rifle. I can definitely bust out some quick 360 no-scopes with this thing. I'm also getting flashbacks to the days I served in Nuketown.
Oh my god, bro.
And if you didn't think that was cool enough, you can even transform it into a pistol. And it shoots bullets. It's a spring-loaded mechanism, and it's actually really satisfying. But I think the design of this is pretty nice, so I'm gonna say this is goated. Now I can go ahead and add this to my tactical collection with the tank I made earlier. And the final thing I bought on Amazon was this for $25. It's a little chicken farm. There's a tiny chicken bowl for the chickens to drink out of, a beautiful display for all the eggs, a coop for the chickens to sleep in, a very happy farmer who loves his chickens, and most importantly, you can't forget there's a giant chicken on top. But things are about to escalate real quickly. Lay an egg right now. Good chicken. Because when you thought this was crazy, there's a freaking slide going off the chicken you can put eggs in. Just because of that, I'm gonna say the set's goated. Now, it was time for the final knockoff Lego product. So I searched the internet for hours trying to find the worst possible one. I ordered from this website called Lepin, which directly copies and replicates Lego sets. So after trying to buy this knockoff Jurassic Park set, I got an email the next day saying that my order didn't go through. So that was a failure. I even found this pasta company named Lego with 2 G's in it. Damn, I'm gonna be honest, this actually looks pretty fire. I might have to put this on my spaghetti. And eventually, I stumbled into a knockoff Lego Minecraft set. This looks nothing like Minecraft. Look at the faces of these mobs. I have to get this. And indeed, I did. Oh, I just noticed. It looks like they changed it from Minecraft to My Wordle. My Wordle. Very nice name.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I only paid $16 for the set, which isn't bad for how big it was because I spent 3 hours making this thing. And I'm noticing straight off the bat, this is an imitation of a really old Lego Minecraft set that went for $250. And for a cheaper price, you can delight yourself in this. A very low budget version of the set. Hey, yo, why do the bats look like that though? Okay, wait, why is there a creeper's face on that skeleton? And they gave me snakes, but there's no snakes in Minecraft. I'm not sure why they gave me dragons, like you don't even see those in the overworld. Steve looks like he's very insecure. Okay, I'm just gonna mine these diamonds real quick. And don't even get me started with Alex. Why does she look like that? And for copyright reasons, it looks like they just removed TNT and they replaced it with bomb. This is like the version of Minecraft you ask your mom if you can have, and then she says, no, we have it at home. So I'm gonna have to throw this one. Well, in total, I spent $246 on all this knockoff Lego, which is definitely cheaper than buying real Lego. But what I've learned from this video is that sometimes it's better to go the extra mile and just buy real Lego. Don't forget to download World of Tanks and use my code to start flexing with that free starter pack. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. This week, I got bored and searched the internet for the weirdest Lego minifigures I could possibly find. Then I spent $700 and bought them all. I feel dumb now and want to make content out of it, so today we're gonna be looking at several weird, creepy, sus, and just cursed Lego minifigs. Well, here's a snowman that came in a series of collectible minifigures, but just when you think you're looking at a cute, innocent snowman, you remove his carrot to add to your nutrition shake and find an eyeball looking right into your soul. Turns out there's just a sweaty dude underneath, but he really does catch you off guard. I guess a third eye really does exist. For this next one, we need to film it underwater. This is King Triton, and he's a Disney character from The Little Mermaid. If you see him swimming towards you, swim the other way, because if you remove his face, there's a second one underneath and it's totally empty. But yeah, I guess Lego just made a completely separate piece that goes over it. About 20 years ago, Lego experimented with custom shaped heads for specific movie characters like Dobby from Harry Potter, this Ewok from Star Wars, and Yoda. But these old minifigs have no eyeballs. I guess Lego just didn't have a way to print them at the time, but thanks to smart people, we now have advanced technology that can print eyeballs like you see on the new versions of these old minifigs. But if you look at a minifig like the Squidward, it should probably have a custom head, but it doesn't have one. But yeah, there's a few throwbacks to weird minifigs I reviewed in the past, like this Nesquik bunny with 2 eyeballs spaced as far apart as my upload schedule, and this Star Wars character with 4 arms. Okay, now Lego makes a bunch of minifigures and suits. Like there's a dude dressed as corn, a woman dressed as pepper or as peas, there's a popcorn boy, there's even a dude dressed up as a Lego brick. He just built different, I guess. At this point, there's a minifigure dressed up in pretty much anything you can possibly imagine. Like there's a freaking Titanic. What is this? You can't disrespect Hot Dog Man though. Hot Dog Man is an absolute alpha. If you take a yellow head, then give it a yellow torso and yellow legs, then you got a minifig with no clothes. Well, in the 2006 Star Wars set came this Princess Leia, and I think it's one of the most revealing minifigs they've made. I low-key feel like I'm looking at the GTA 5 loading screen, or playing one of those old arcade racing games where there's random girls holding flags telling you when to go. Okay, I guess these aren't really minifigs, but in the early 2000s, Lego made some collectible action figures that kind of remind me of McDonald's Happy Meal toys. These don't really look anything like Lego, so I searched for the weirdest one possible, and this dude literally has plain wings for arms. Okay, fly. What's cool though is you can load them with foam bullets that actually shoot. The specific theme of these minifigs is called Galador, and I think LEGO stopped making these a few years afterwards. I then called my boy Sacred to see if he owned any weird minifigures, and he had this shark-looking minifig with a creepy mouth underneath, and this other fishy minifig with 2 giant fangs. Bro, that reminds me of the fish from, like, Finding Nemo. Okay, now what are some super inaccurate minifigs that look nothing like the original? Well, here's Aldar Beto. He's a Star Wars character, and if you compare him to the real one from the movies, this looks nothing like him. LEGO used a droid body, a slope brick, and a straight-up yellow minifig head to make him. But LEGO made a more accurate version years later. I think this original one, though, looks nothing like him. I grew up watching a lot of animated Disney movies like Toy Story. Well, LEGO actually made Toy Story sets about 10 years ago. Well, if you take a regular Buzz minifig, you can replace his head with one from this Buzz action figure set, and he actually looks really cursed now. I forgot to do this part, so I had to record it in a plain bathroom. Sorry for the audio. And here's an original Ron Weasley minifig from Harry Potter made in 2001. His bowl cut's on a whole new level, and I'm talking about a whole new level down, because that bowl cut ain't looking so fine, G. He eventually got updated, though. I think the new Ron Weasley looks a lot more like him. Now, I went deep into the internet to see if I could find random pieces to invent my own weird LEGO minifigs, and this is what I found. I found this official LEGO piece, and it's literally a torso with a face on it. But if I'm having a conversation with this guy, I wouldn't even know where to make eye contact with, his chest or his head. Also, where does the food go? Here's a minifigure with a giant head. Here's a minifigure with a really tall head. I swear this isn't photoshopped. Here's a minifig with a really tiny face. Here's a very unhappy minifig. Here's a minifig with very large hands. Here's a minifig with a very blocky head. And here's a minifigure whose head is just melting. And these are all custom heads I got from this website called Citizen Brick. I'll link them below. It seems like LEGO hit a really awkward phase designing minifigs around the late 90s and early 2000s, because a lot of these minifigs had really weird looking faces, like this cavalry guy from an old western set. This is that one guy you definitely would want to skip on Omegle. Or these NBA basketball players. Aside from the fact they have cool jerseys and springy legs that help them score threes on the court, let's see some buckets. I've got to say, some of these boys are definitely not just taking protein shakes pre-game. I also found this Ooga Booga Islander minifig, and its face kind of looks like a clown you'd see in a horror movie. I also found this guy with a huge smile. I mean, just look at it. A smile that wide's got to make it somewhere in the Guinness Book of World Records. In 1996, LEGO released a set of an imaginary flying car, and it came with these 2 minifigs, but just by the look of this guy alone, he seems like he's physically incapable of piloting a flying vehicle, and this guy looks like he's terrified by the fact that he's driving it. But yeah, I'm kind of concerned that this guy's cross-eyed. In 2005, LEGO launched Exo Force, which is pretty much a series of anime-themed sets, and these are some of the few minifigs you could get from them. Honestly, I don't find these weird at all. I just find them really unique, because I think these are the only anime-themed minifigs ever made. And if you turn their heads around, they appear very, very angry. This is Sam Sinister, and he's an evil villain from an early 2000s LEGO theme by the name of Adventures. And I definitely see why he's an evil villain, because just by that suit and top hat, I definitely wouldn't want to meet this guy for a Craigslist deal. Here's a random firefighter I found, and he's got to have the biggest mustache I've ever seen on a minifig. It curls so far upwards that it almost pokes into his eyeballs, and I feel like this amount of facial hair can actually be a fire hazard, which is ironic since his job is to prevent fires and not start them. And this is Chancellor Palpatine, who's a Star Wars character, but he looks like someone who's been looking at a computer screen playing Minecraft all night. Like, just look at those eyes. And for our final round, let's take a look at genuinely creepy and terrifying minifigs. First one is a Demogorgon from Stranger Things. It has a closed mouth on its head, but you can add this extra piece that goes around it, and it shows the mouth open. This next minifig is named Stingray, and he came in 3 Aquazone sets from 1998. He has fangs coming out of his suit, red eyes, and when you remove his helmet, he's also got moist, wet hair and a creepy looking mouth. This is the Swamp Creature, and it came in 1 Monster Fighter set from 2012. There's a bunch of slime and seaweed and just other random swamp crap growing on it, but when you remove its helmet, you'll find 2 giant snake-type eyeballs looking right at you. I definitely would want this to get out of my swamp. For our 3rd creepiest minifig, we're gonna have to film it underwater again. This is the Lobster Guardian, and he came in 1 Atlantis set made in 2011. He's got 2 big pinchers, giant antennas on his head, and worst of all, his mouth is located located right on his chest. If I find this lobster in one of those fish tanks at a Chinese restaurant, I'm getting the bill immediately and taking my noodles to go. Number 2, the Mad Scientist. This minifigure came in the Scary Laboratory set from 2002, and just when you think his big eyes and creepy smiles enough to keep you under your bed sheets at night, turn his head around to be greeted by someone with red eyes, a thick unibrow, evil smile, and the worst facial hair I've probably ever seen. I would not want this guy's barber. And for our final minifig, in my opinion the most terrifying of all, it's the mouth of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. When you remove his hat, he has no eyeballs, only a mouth, a wrinkly forehead, and a missing hairline. And that mouth looks like it needs some serious dental maintenance. Like, this guy better have insurance. We hit 1 million subscribers, baby, let's go! Thank you to everyone who's helped us reach this goal by supporting this channel, but this is only the beginning. I've got so many more bangers for y'all, and to celebrate, I made a podcast with Sacred where we answer some of your biggest questions and help you guys know more about us, because I know these videos are really fast-paced. Also, go watch part 2 on Sacred's channel where he covers other cursed minifigs I didn't even show in this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Anything you gotta say? Alright, I guess not. See you guys. In this video, I'm gonna be recreating different natural disasters using Lego. Let the challenge begin. Okay, so let's start with the first Lego item to experiment with. This is a $300 Lego Ferris wheel set I bought, and like any other Ferris wheel, it spins. But like any curious person, I want to see how fast this can actually spin. So let's simulate a tornado, and I bought this leaf blower. Okay, that wasn't too bad, only one piece came off. But I wasn't satisfied enough yet, so I went in for a second round, getting in closer with the leaf blower. Wow, I'm actually really surprised it didn't break sooner than that. Thank goodness, this piece almost hit the dog poop. This thing spun way faster than I thought it would, and while I go ahead and clean up this giant mess, let's continue to our next natural disaster. This is a tiny Lego town using old Lego pieces, minifigures, and sets from the 1980s. But what the people of this town don't realize is I'm about to simulate some natural disasters on them. Let's start with something easy. How about a rainstorm? Dang, this town looks pretty drippy now. Okay, now what would happen if it rained cats and dogs? That literally did nothing. Okay, what about acid rain? Apparently lemonade's very acidic, so let's try it. It smells so good in my room now. Now let's step it up a notch. What about hail? That's so much damage, even Flex Seal couldn't fix that. Good thing this town has a hospital, because it's definitely gonna need one after all these disasters we're about to do. How about 100% liquid death? Oh yeah, feels so deathly. Nope, just kidding. That was honestly really lame. What about purple rain? Oh yeah, what about cloudy with a chance of meatballs? Okay, I feel like I had a basic right now. I can't believe I just did all that and these minifigs are still smiling at me. But I think this town's had enough torture, so let's move to the next build. Another Lego set I bought is this $80 Lego Coast Guard set.
Build the Lego set.
It comes with 3 sharks, tons of minifigs, a lighthouse, and most importantly, a giant boat. But what's special about it is that it floats. Wow, very nice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But to truly test this boat's performance, I'm gonna take it to the beach and simulate another natural disaster, which is a hurricane. So let's see if this really floats my boat. And to my surprise, this boat is actually doing very terrible. And I find it funny how Lego Coast Guards are supposed to keep people safe at the beach, but they can't even keep themselves safe. Big shame. Time to whip out the next item I bought. This is a $20 Lego African Wildlife Safari set, and like a lot of places in Africa, temperatures can get very hot. So another natural disaster I want to test is a heat wave, and since I don't live in a hot place like Africa, there's only one place in my house I know that's hot. Ooh, it's very hot. Okay, that pretty much did nothing. It just made the pieces warm. Thank you, Grandma, for letting me use your microwave, by the way. Another natural disaster is a fire. So what are different things we can burn? How about we start with this minifig? I mean, he wore a tree on his head, so what did he expect? What happens when you burn a hot dog? Toasty and delicious. What about a stick of dynamite? Does it blow up? Nope, it didn't blow up. And lastly, what happens when you set Lego fire on fire? Wow, it just made it bend. That's it. Kids, please don't do this, by the way. I don't want any parents telling me that their house got burnt down. Another natural disaster is a blizzard, so let's see what happens when I stick a minifigure in the fridge with some water for a couple of hours.
A few moments later.
Dang, look at all that ice on him. He's even dripping now. This next Lego set is based off of Minecraft. It's a tiny desert village that comes with 2 villagers, 1 farm, a house, and a bell tower. It also comes with this mob that can move its head. And because this is a village in the desert, it gets very hot, which means a drought can happen. So I'm gonna simply take away all these villagers' water, and now we're gonna sit and see what happens. Oh crap, wait, they're dying. Well, I didn't mean to do that. Here, drink Prime. This will help. Drink it quick. Wow, that was a close call. We almost killed this entire village, but now they're good. This is a Lego item I bought, and it's a very tiny tent made from thin plastic film, and it can fit 2 minifigures inside. But what's the purpose of a tent? To keep you from bad weather, right? So to see if this is truly a legit tent, I'm gonna test different types of weather conditions and see if it keeps the people inside dry and safe. I just simulated a giant rainstorm. Now let's see how this tent holds up to a massive snow avalanche. Then I'm gonna simulate a mudslide. I just grabbed that outside my house. And finally, I'm gonna simulate a sandstorm. And the moment of truth, did it keep the people inside dry? Let's find out. Oh wow, it actually did. Great tent, Lego. For this next natural disaster, we're not just testing it on 1 person or even 100, because we're testing on the entire world. Because this next Lego set is this $200 globe I bought from the Lego store. Now, what would happen if a giant meteorite from the sky came and hit it? Okay, that surprisingly did no damage, so I'm gonna hit it from a different point. Holy crap, this globe is built different, guys. Wow, that is incredibly durable. Great job designing this set, Lego. The next natural disaster I'm gonna test is a flood. On the right side of this map is a tiny lake, and on the left side is a concert with a crowd of people mosh pitting. I'm gonna slowly fill up this lake with water and see how far we can go until the sand barrier breaks. Uh-oh, you can start seeing the water seep through the wall. It's about to blow, boys. That's so sad. Rest in peace, concert. But honestly, that music was pretty trash anyway, so I'm kind of glad this flood happened. This next Lego set I bought is based off of the Minions movie. It's a tiny airplane with the glizzy inside and a few minions. But a natural disaster that planes need to be ready to undertake is bad turbulence, so let's see if this plane does its job and can safely transport these passengers. Well, the good news is that we landed, but the bad news is that we crash landed. And for the final but biggest Lego set to destroy in this video, I speed ran to the Lego store to cop this $400 Lego castle set with over 4,000 pieces. After a full 24-hour cycle of building, I had completed the set, and it had everything a castle could possibly need, from many knights to horses and even a drawbridge. Well, we're gonna put this to the test and see if it can keep the people safe from these natural disasters I'm about to do. In the world of Lego, a common natural disaster is a rowdy 4-year-old child running around. So if you think I'm weird for acting like a child, just realize I have an excuse for content. A rowdy dog is another one. You want the toy? Go get it. Go get the toy. Grab it. Now it's time for some actual natural disasters. So I started with a rainstorm and nothing really happened. Nice, the water wheel works. So I took my water bending to a whole new level and simulated a massive tsunami instead. Oh crap, I wasn't recording on the GoPro. Let's do that again, actually. And seeing the footage roll back, this was actually really satisfying, and I'm kind of surprised how well the castle walls deflected that water. Still, nothing really happened, so I then went ahead and inflicted a deadly hailstorm on the people of this castle. I ran out of ice, so I'm just gonna use Orbeez. But none of these natural disasters had damaged this castle in even the slightest way. So I then went ahead and took my true Asian power and summoned a meteorite. Now that's a lot of damage. Someone call Phil Swift. We need flex tape right now. Just when I thought I already had a lot to clean up after this video, add one more thing to that list. But the set was nice to look at when it was still together. I did this so you guys don't have to. I just moved to Houston, Texas and want to meet new people, so if you're another YouTuber or Lego fan from the area, hit me up on Instagram. Thank you for watching. See you guys later.